Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Happy opening day to all across the Delaware Valley. Opening day in baseball. What a special day today is. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. Opening day. I love it. I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid and I was in school, and I couldn't wait to write the lines down on my notebook and couldn't wait to rush home from school to watch the first game of the day, first game of the season. This is it. It's opening day. I want everybody today to suspend whatever negativity they have coming into the season. I know it's not even about positive, negative. It's just that mentality, right? Like, embrace the sport. Embrace the fact that the sport is back. I'm going to read you my buddy, all right? So I got a friend of mine who is a great dude, all right? Nick from Collegeville. He said, love hearing this skip. This is yesterday. He seems to be in good health after a stroke, but my heart is still calloused from the last two postseasons. Nicky, let it go. New season, all right? We wipe the slate clean. We'll see what happens, right? Like, you know that they're a good ball club. The Phillies have it, probably the best rotation in the National League. I know the Dodgers have more arms and could be really nasty, but they got major health issues, right? Major health issues. They have a lot of 5- and 6-inning arms. They could be great, and Lord knows that team's formidable. But if you look at the rotation, you know what you're going to get with Wheeler, Nola. I love where Sanchez is at. Luzardo was a great addition. You're going to watch. You're going to see him. He's got a live arm. And then, we're going to get Ranger back. That rotation is going to win a lot of games. And, oh, by the way, you got the Wonder Kid, right? The Phenom and Andrew Painter. He's looming for later in the season. So the rotation is going to be good. And this lineup, is going to generate offense. It's going to generate runs. Harper, Schwarber, Turner, they're going to generate offense. Now, whatever happens in the postseason, I think the Phillies are a major lock to get there, and we'll see. But you got a good club. And look, if something goes wrong and they need a right-handed bat and they need another arm in a bullpen, that's for the deadline. What you have in front of you is a full season. It's clean. It's the opening day. There's something special about opening day. Baseball is back. This great game that we love, and we love it in Philadelphia. I'm old enough now to see the kind of transition. Yes, we are in love with football, and this is a football town. But it's also a baseball town, and a hockey, and a basketball. We're a sports town. We love it. We go season for season. That's why I authored 4 for 4. 4 for 4 is the great euphemism that we love all the sports in town. We are hyper local. We still are we're not a transient city. We're an old established city that is proud of its history, that's proud of its standing in this country. Philadelphia. It's what we love. It draws us all back here, right? We may go on to do other things, but it never leaves us. Even if we do wind up staying somewhere in another city, in another place, in another country, Philadelphia stays with us. It's in our heart, and that's how we're built. It's how we're wired. We love sports. We love it. And opening day in baseball, I implore you guys to just put whatever hang-ups. And listen, I see the same stuff. I feel the same way. I get it. The Diamondbacks loss was crushing 2 years ago. The fact that they were 2 home games away from the World Series and somehow lost was crushing. Last year, they got to that great start, and the ballpark is popping, and everybody's excited, and then they flame out, in the first round to the Mets. I get it. I'm with you. It was a disappointment. And the last 2 Octobers were disappointing after the World Series against Houston. But put it aside. Lay it off. Take the baggage, right, that you're lugging around your shoulder, right? Drop it. And then just embrace it. Because baseball is a great companion. And let's face it, there are no more meaningful games until the Eagles, right? Think about this for a second. The Flyers and Sixers are both ending their season in tank mode. There's no playoffs for either. The Wells Fargo Center will be dark. What do you have as a companion? Because as a sports fan, you still need games. That's the lifeblood. That's what pumps the blood in you, is watching the games, is being a part, following a team, right? And the Phillies are in front of you. They're going to be your great companion for the summer that takes us to Eagles and the defending of the Super Bowl. Embrace it. They're a good team. They're going to be fun, right? Let's see it. Let's be all in on it. There's nothing more special than when this town is all in on something. When this town is rocking, nothing better. So let's get it going, man. Today's the day. It starts. It's here. VG came in, and he brought in a whole opening day. Peanuts, seeds, Big League Chew. I mean, are you kidding me? It's all here. Happy opening day, VG.
Ah, Phillies! Fever. Yeah, dude, I'm ready to go.
Can I just say before we get started?
Yes.
That lid,
dude,
is outrageous.
It took everything I had. I bought it right around the holidays, and I was like, I'm not busting it out until
that lid's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Dude, that hat that might be the greatest hat ever made.
I love it, dude.
The color pops.
That's a great blue.
Andrew, look at that color.
I love that blue.
Dude.
Look at it. Look at the fat pea. The beautiful color.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Dude, let me just read you some ages on this Dodgers lineup. Freddie Freeman, 35. Mookie Betts, struggling already, 32. Teoscar, 32. Muncy, 34. Will Smith, 30. Ohtani, 30. Edmund, 30. Rojas, 36. Snell, 32. Glasnow, 31. I go on and on. This is an old team. These Dodgers are old. They're going to break down over this season. I trust in that.
Look at that.
I trusted it. I trusted it.
Look at that. Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Oh, my God.
Screw these Dodgers. And the day just gets better and better. Better and better.
So big news
man.
The big news. He is so happy right now.
I know he is. So the big news of the day.
Yeah, baby.
Flyers. John Tortorella has been let go.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. He does it on opening day. Well, maybe he thinks the story gets squashed, but no way, baby.
Listen, I get it.
He's not moved upstairs.
I know. I get it. I get it. I think, listen, he served his purpose, right? He was to get Michkov through the year and teach him. Well, you can't laugh.
By sitting on the bench.
Yeah. Teaching him, just berate him and yell at him and make him sit out. I don't know what
the guy's dead, right? The guy got fired. Is what it is. And I think, you know what? I think it's at this point, it's the right move.
Yes. You want me to get you a tissue or something?
No, I have it.
You sure? Dude, I learned something about why allergies are so bad right now. This is news to me. In the cities, the female trees bear the fruit.
Yeah.
The male trees bear the pollen.
Yes.
In the cities, they only plant male trees because they don't want the fruit as litter on the ground.
Oh,
so we have pollinating trees everywhere. That's why the levels are so ridiculous.
A is bad. And by the way, in this room, there's all kinds of allergens.
Even I'm dying.
Yeah, he's dying. I walked in here. I went like all of a sudden my head just started to go boop, 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 boop. Listen, by the way, text Charlie. See if we get Charlie for 10:30.
Yes.
All right. Because we do need to check in. We'll have some fun. We'll still do our good times. Trivia, opening day trivia stuff. But the idea that Tortorella goes, I do think a lot of it truthfully stems too from that benching that he had of Michkov against it was a TNT game. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah, I remember it.
And the whole town's like excited. You know, Michkov is it's right after the break and he's fired up. Mm-hmm. And it was a nationally televised game and Tortorella benches him for a period, really a period and a half. And I think they were like, all right, like you're taking this a step further. It's great that you want to teach them about defense and getting back, but you know, you got to preserve the kid.
There's got to be a feeling that, I mean, I don't know if he ever had the room, but
yeah,
the way they've been playing, the 2-7, giving up 7. There's a guy who preaches defense. They've given up 7 goals 2 straight games.
No, they're getting. I mean, the goaltending is one thing, but
yeah,
they're giving up everything. They're just getting smashed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, so
they're getting smashed. And listen,
I'm excited about this future of the Flyers.
Yeah, it's. Listen, they needed to do it. Like we knew. I told you, if you remember, I told you a couple months ago that he was not coming back, and this is just a precursor for that.
Oof.
You know. But it's opening day, VG.
It is opening day.
And the Phillies today, 4:05 in Washington, Wheeler against MacKenzie Gore.
MacKenzie Gore's a decent pitcher.
He's
got some upside. I think he could have a good season.
He's a lefty. Now, here's the thing.
So don't flip out if the bat. I mean, it's a good pitcher. He's a decent pitcher, MacKenzie Gore.
Can I just say one thing, though? Let's talk about Wheeler for a second. Mm-hmm. The most underrated Philly, I think, in modern day.
Well, he's very quiet demeanor, and he just makes it look so easy.
Dude, he is such a great pitcher.
He's a killer.
He is every bit of what Halladay was.
Yes.
Here. He really is.
Yes.
He's Doc in that sense. That's a big deal.
So here's this spring, he had outside of 1+ inning pitch. So he's got 13 inning pitches, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 12 strikeouts, ERA of 0.69 through the spring. He's ready to go, man. He comes out to the Rooster by Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
the guy's just an assassin.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's great. I mean, I just think he's underrated, like severely underrated about how great he is. I was messing around and I did a top 10 Phillies of this century. I have him 2.
This century.
Yeah. So that includes the 08 team, obviously.
Yeah. Do you have Doc number 1?
I have Harper number 1.
Harper number 1?
I have Harper number 1. I have Wheeler number 2. I have Jimmy number 3. Chase number 4. Doc number 5. Because of he was great here, but it was so limited.
Doc over Peace?
I have Peace after Doc.
All right.
To me, it was close, right? I have Hamels next. Schwarber. Nola.
Yeah.
Abreu.
The strong list.
Whoa. A little controversy at the end. Nola and Abreu.
Yeah, I got Nola 9, Abreu 10. I thought about JT, because JT's been fantastic. And he's a catcher. Yeah. And, I thought about him, but I had Abreu at 10.
When did Abreu stop playing? Was he 90s into the early 2000s?
He played most of the early 2000s. I mean, up until, 05? I mean, he was a great ball player. I listen, do we overrate him with some of the numbers crowd? But he was on a bad team. He was a terrific ball player.
2006, his last year.
Yeah.
I thought about Tomey. But again, he was here for just a minute.
Yeah.
Halladay was so dramatic. No hitter, perfect game, like no hitter in the playoffs, a perfect game, which is why I got him there.
Part of me is like Chooch is a little underrated. He was great with those pitchers. I don't know. I mean, I know Holladay's Halladay, but Chooch was fantastic with the staff throughout his time.
Well, but here's my thing. If we're going to go with our top 10 of this century, I think Harper's clearly. I mean, he's the greatest player that has played here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's him and Mike Schmidt ever.
Yes.
All right. Wheeler, I mean, it's him and Carlton is the best. He's the best. Wheeler's the best right-handed pitcher ever to pitch here.
Yeah, I can't. There's no one I can even bring
Right?
up. I can't.
I
Who would
agree
I
with
bring
you.
up?
Best right-handed pitcher. He's dominant. Like, look at.
I mean, is
look at,
Jim Bunning right-handed? I don't know. It's like
Right.
forever ago.
Look at Roberts.
Yeah.
Look at the playoff game, even against the Mets. Like, he just keeps you in every game. He's so dominant. I love Zack Wheeler. All right. Jimmy, I think I have him number 3.
I love Jimmy.
Because of the whole thing. Like, he was just a spark plug.
Yeah,
he did everything. He was really the engine of that squad.
I was going to say he was their motor. Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Utley was an elite baseball player.
Yeah.
A great baseball player.
Great baseball.
Right?
Player. Yep.
Which is why I got him 4. I put Halladay 5 because when he comes here, the perfect game,
Nah,
the no-hitter
he was insane.
in the playoffs against the Reds. I mean, Peace 6. Peace was right. I mean, Peace was right there on the cusp. Peace 5 years. What Ryan Howard did for 5 years was unparalleled.
It's like Gehrig and Ruth. Those 5 years were insane.
The shame of Ryan Howard, and I'll always say this, is that he came up late.
Yep.
They didn't recognize what they had in him. He was blocked by Tomey.
Yep.
And then afterwards, he was injured. He had the knee. He had the Achilles.
Achilles
the calf,
was a killer.
The calf. Remember the infection?
Yeah.
That ate half of his
Tons
calf.
of lower body issues going on.
Yeah. Hamels. 08 World Series. Right.
Super cool.
I got Schwarber because Schwarber's been other than Bryce. Schwarber's the engine of this.
He
run.
feels like the glue.
He is.
And he used to club because we've heard stuff and we kid around about Stubbs and how are they going to be without Stubbs? But it's Schwarber in there. I wouldn't even be upset if they just did an extension right now with him. I hate him playing out his contract. Give him another 3 years. All he's got to do is take at bats. He's not playing the field.
Now,
he's getting better and better.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Now, didn't Johnny Marks just commit a violation?
What did he do?
What do you do?
He walks out till he grabs his bag. First, he has to go to the bathroom because he's got the bladder size of a pig, right?
He just shut the door, too.
Yeah.
So he can't hear you.
Right. So, and then he comes back and he grabs his bag and he leaves. And I'm trying to make eye contact with him to wish him a happy opening day.
Oh, yeah, no.
He's like,
yeah.
tunnel vision to leave.
We screwed up his whole day yesterday having him come in here for 30 seconds.
I
Throw
know.
off kilter.
I know. Violation, Johnny. Anyway, Schwarber to me is clearly 8.
Yeah. I want him around for a few more years, too.
I agree. Same.
Yeah, he's just like a softball guy. Come up here, take walks, and hit some bombs.
Well, I mean, and again, other than Bryce in the lineup, he's been it.
Yeah. He has been so consistent. And he's been getting, the last couple of years, he's been getting better. His on bases going up. His average is going up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then number 9, all Aaron Nola does is pitch well. Like, all he does is pitch well.
And he's not, he plays a ton of innings, pitches a ton of innings, but he's not just an innings eater. Like, he's a really good pitcher who is an innings eater.
Exactly. I think he's undervalued,
Yes.
underrated.
Yes.
He needs to be on the top 10 of this century.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And then that leaves 10, right? And so that leaves a lot of guys. Cliff Lee, JT, Tomey,
Yeah.
and Bobby Abreu.
Oh, someone's like Victorino?
Yeah, I thought about Victorino, but Abreu was a hell of a ball player, man. It's hard to not give him, like, I get not running into the wall, and people hated Abreu. You either had people that love him because of the numbers or hated him. He was a really good ball player.
I actually don't know anyone in my circle who loved Abreu.
No, I don't either.
I don't have anyone who's a fan of him.
But if you're just
when you
looking
look at his numbers,
you look at it from a baseball standpoint, he was a hell of a player.
Nonsense. It's crazy that he's not revered
But
a little
he's
bit.
not, Shane Victorino is not Abreu when it comes to that.
No.
So, like,
See, he's probably, I'm trying to find. Is he
and
a career?
I'm a big I loved Victorino. I do. I always thought he was a big.
When he was here, he hit
Big
312, 335, 316, 29, 308, 300,
And that's
301.
And that's in a different era, right? Where average
50
matters.
doubles, 48 doubles, 42 doubles.
I mean, I still think we held it against him because those were the dark days of the Phillies.
I don't know much about WAR, but his WAR is 60, and that's pretty darn good from what I gather.
Yeah, that's not his fault that they were so bad during that era.
Mm-mm.
And I can't think of anything else.
It's pretty amazing that all those years he batted 300 or right around it. He's an all-star twice. That's bonkers. You think you hit 300, you're an all-star.
There was a couple times where wasn't Ricky Bowe was an all-star. Our man Ricky Bowe.
Yes, he was.
You know, they had to pick one guy.
I heard his stats versus Barry Bonds.
Yeah, he owned Barry Bonds.
Ate him up.
Yeah, it's funny. The only guy ever, the only pitcher ever was against Bonds. Was our man
That
Ricky
is
Bowe.
wild.
Yeah, he's the best. It's funny. Tasty Cake Dom. Thank you for your no bigger Noah fan than Tasty Cake Dom. I still loved his nickname, Freeze.
Yeah,
He was because he did. Noah has some good stuff that'll freeze you on a 2-strike pitch.
Yes, unless it's the RAV4 inning.
So is there anybody else? Because I can't think of anybody else. I mean, Cliff Lee. I'm a JT fan. Tommy.
I mean, I love Chooch. I think Chooch was really valuable here.
I think it's valid. I think it's valid.
Very likable, solid, just a solid catcher.
I think that's valid. But we'll run it by
Back to bat.
No.
Oh man,
No.
you gotta mix the off the field lore with the on the field stuff.
No. We'll get, as always, the great historian.
Oh yeah,
Is Pat McClune
yeah.
from the editor's desk coming up next, and we'll run this by Pat. All right.
You know, Burrow put up 27 dingers, 37, 21, 24, 32, 29,
come
30,
on, bro.
33.
Stop with Burrow. He's not better than Tomey. He's not better than Lee. Not better than Abreu. He's not better than JT. JT is a good catcher.
Yeah, I'm not.
All right. We got to take care of some business. I could do this
Jason
all day.
Worth.
Jason Worth.
If he would have stayed, he would have been there. I mean, nothing. No, Jason Worth was a terrific player.
Great player.
He got paid. God bless.
You can't be hating on him because he took the money.
Dude, I love this. You got the peanuts. You got hot dogs?
Yeah, I got Ballpark Franks. I'm going to get the water going like maybe right before Boa gets on. Get the water going.
Opening day.
Yeah, man.
Freaking awesome, man.
Listen, remember how good we have it? Because I looked through. Hellickson was an opening day starter. Lieber, Millwood,
Jeremy Hellickson.
Omar Dahl. All these guys were opening day starters here. We got it good right now.
Omar Dahl. God. Oh, that's horrible. All right, let's talk about some of our friends. Yeah. Let's talk about Rothman. Joints aching, hands cramping, back out of whack. Rothman's got you, and Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high quality, compassionate, affordable care that is rooted in research. In fact, my man, Uncle Frank, just had a nasty ankle thing going on.
Oh, man.
He got sliced.
Was he walking
open.
the dog? What was he doing?
Oh, no.
He got
Uncle
sad to
Frank.
get sliced.
Yikes.
And our man, Dr. Pedowitz, all right, Rothman's finest,
Oh,
all right,
nice.
ankle. Dr. Pedowitz took care of Uncle Frank. Uncle Frank feels great.
Nice.
Yeah, he's on the mend.
We haven't heard from him for a while.
I think he's been on the mend. That's
All
why.
right, all right.
Yeah,
Banged
Uncle
up.
Frank, we love Uncle Frank, and
up.
he's a Rothman patient. I'm a Rothman patient.
Me too.
Each Rothman doctor laser focused on their specialty: hip, knee, spine, shoulder, elbow, you name it. They have a team for each body part right here in our backyard, so you can cross over the defense. You can throw BP to your kid like I do every day.
You can get out of the bed without pain.
Yes, they're Rothman Orthopedics. They specialize in you. 50 years they've been practicing specialized care. They've participated in thousands of groundbreaking research and clinical trials. The goal of advancing knowledge, developing treatments, and improving outcomes for the benefit of their patients. Yeah, Rothman Orthopedics specialize in orthopedics, and you visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. All right, speaking of your body and feeling good, how about some timeline?
Oof.
I love this timeline.
I'm all about it.
I'm starting to
Give me
feel
some
the
energy.
difference. Yes, because Timeline is health longevity supplements that feature their proprietary MitoPure ingredient. Now, what MitoPure does, it works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. All right, the benefits include strength, energy, endurance. All right, they have done 15 plus years of research. They've secured 30 plus U.S. patents for their products. See, the cells in our body, well, guess what? They're the building blocks of life. Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to help give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and preserve health and mobility as you start to age. That MitoPure, what it does is it clears out dysfunctional mitochondria.
I hate dysfunctional mitochondria.
All right? AKA, that's your cell's battery packs.
Yeah, it is. It's very important to mitochondria.
Yes. In fact, I just read something. I'm gonna amp up my timeline with a 72-hour fast.
Whoa. Just a straight fast?
72 hours.
Yes, because what it does is it expedites cleaning out your cell's battery, the mitochondria.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can have
You
water.
taking vacation days?
You can
I
have-
don't want to be around you on day 2 or 3.
You can have water, black coffee, which I drink
you'll
now
be
anyway,
fine.
and I can drink the
No protein?
Pellegrino. No, you can't eat anything.
Oh, man.
Anyway, you got to go check it out. Timeline.com/PHLY. You get 10% off your order of MitoPure. That's timeline.com/PHLY. All right. Time now for our man, Pat McClune from the editor's desk.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. It's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McClune.
There he is. Happy opening day, Patrick. What happened?
Listen, I just had to hustle back into my chair here because I had to tell the monk that's doing the online editing to toss out next week's segment about the longevity of Philadelphia coaches because Tortorella's out. So the timeline starts up again. You know.
How do you feel about it?
We also have an editor's desk that for the first time since I've done this, and thanks to you, I've done it every week for a while now, we will not have an Eagles segment. It's record-breaking because there's a lot going on the editor's desk, and it's opening day, so we're going to go with a 60-40 split on baseball and college hoops.
I like it. Listen, Eagles are always near and dear. We'll give them a little break. Let them breathe a little bit. So I like it.
I'm going to be able to tie 2 of the baseball segments to the Eagles, but their name will not be forgotten.
I like it. Hey, before we get there, let me ask you, are you good with this top 10 of the best Phillies of this century? 1 is Harper, 2 is Wheeler, 3 is Jimmy, 4 Chase, 5 Doc, 6 Howard, 7 Hamels, 8 Schwarber, 9 Nola, 10 Abreu.
Okay, I am almost virtually okay with it, but a couple of tweaks just to get the conversation going. Can't believe Placido Polanco was left out, so that's an issue. Okay, I'm with VG. I'd have to have Howard in there. I can't split the 3 of them. In fact, that'll pop up again when we talk. So I just flip Howard and Doc Holliday.
Okay.
The closest you could come, you guys are so on the money about Abreu. Didn't exactly ignite the fan base, but when you look back and you think of how many years of line drives and balls off the wall he hit, it's hard not to look at it. It's hard to have a 10 without Jim Thome. But other than that, I think you're great. And the thing that kicked into it when you and VG were talking was Wheeler himself. And I think you're dead on there. You know, you look at Wheeler, 4 of the last 5 seasons with ERAs under 3 in this day and age. That's incredible.
Incredible. And he's there for you. He's always there for you. Interestingly, because he had injury issues with the Mets, right? But he's been a horse.
Absolutely. And he's great during the season. And then there's playoffs, Zach. I mean, he jacks it up in the playoffs. You know, we sat here in October and just marveled at some of his numbers in the playoffs over the last 3 years. He really is something. Now, the other thing about that, you know, that big 3 with Jimmy Chase and Ryan Howard, whose faces just may pop up while we're talking here, the fact that the 3 of them were so good together vaults Harper to the top by himself because, you know, one of those guys alone stacked up against Harper. Harper stacks up pretty well, but I like it the way you have it.
Yeah, I to me, Bryce is the best baseball player that I've ever seen. He and Schmidt, to me, are the greatest Phillies I've ever seen. Just a pure baseball player.
And I'm just blown away still about how easily Harper took to first base. He is a well above average glove over there at first base.
He's a great fielder. Great fielder.
Yes.
All right, let's kick it off.
All right, well, let's go bottom up. We'll go the first one I'm going to put up is called Big 5 Bonanza. And that is because it was a wild Tuesday here on the coaching front. And you know, we have Fran McCaffrey on the left and Phil Martelli Jr. on the right. He's not coming to the Big 5, but he's everything about the Big 5. And I'd start at the top with Villanova. You know, that is really an odd situation brought on again by the portal and stuff. They've got their man, it looks like, in Kevin Willard. You know, but what happens if they pull off the upset tonight?
I hear you, brother. It's going to be interesting.
By the way, they won't. But what happens then? And, you know, Merlin starts backing up the truck. So, you know, let's hope they got that locked down. You know, that whole coaching thing brings up one of the few rules I had as an editor. And we called it the Rolly rule. And the reason it was, I would say, hey, make sure you insert the Rolly rule into that story. And what that meant was you would have to put in anything about that, like barring an unforeseen development or whatever. You'd need to put that clause in. And the reason you needed to put the clause in was because we printed a story from a Hall of Fame writer, Phil Jasner, as careful as they come. That said Rolly Massimino is going to become the next coach of the New Jersey Nets. And we were wrong. But I felt very confident about it because of our source going into that story. The source was Rolly, who told us he was taking the job. But Rolly slept on it, thought it over, didn't do it. So you have to stick that clause in there. So that's what I'm a little worried about with Villanova, that they've got this thing done, but, you know, some guy that I know when you go down to visit the University of Maryland, there's all this Under Armour stuff. Maybe Under Armour will back up the truck or something.
Right.
Who knows? You know. So moving on, the next one gets personal, and that's that, again, barring a Rolly rule, sources close to LaSalle High School say that Fran McCaffrey is in town. And that's personal. That's personal for me because I've known Fran for 52 years. You know, that goes back to when Moss and St. Margaret's lifted the trophy the other day. For me, it was Incarnation and Olney, and we had a great grade school team. And the only team we couldn't beat was this team called Assumpta Academy because they had this guy named Fran McCaffrey who nobody could do anything with. And I wish him nothing but the best because his family, you know, means a lot to me. I mean, one, when I was up at LaSalle with all my friends at Doherty, and kind of sweating, he actually recognized me from the CYO Wars and pulled me aside to tell me that they play ball after school and I ought to come play. And I think because of that, I got in on the ground floor and made the teams. But more importantly, something you would love is, I had a great family growing up, great parents, but we didn't own a car. And my Friday nights in the fall for 4 years consisted of a Friday Catholic League game and a Sunday Catholic League game. In between, the Brown Impala would come from Thuron Avenue in West Oak Lane. Mrs. McCaffrey, Shirley McCaffrey would pick me up, jump in with Franny and Jack, and we're off to the Palestra, where the guard was Mr. McCaffrey, right behind the basket, and he would always plant us in like the first or second row. And I got all those Big Five doubleheaders that young people don't understand about. Penn, West Virginia in the opener and LaSalle Temple at night. And
that's awesome.
It was great just sitting there. And so I owe a lot to his family and their generosity. So I hope Franny does great.
That's fantastic. I'm with you. I'm very proud of that. It's a great family. I'm with you. I'm very excited about it.
And then, talk about great families. Phil Jr. going to VCU. Now, let me tell you something. They don't mess around at VCU. That guy, I think the current guy has been there 10 years. The AD, his name's McLaughlin. These guys know how to pick coaches.
Yeah.
And they picked a good one in Phil Jr. Think about the coaches before them. Ryan Odom, now at Virginia. Mike Rhodes, now at Penn State. Will Wade, who could be anywhere he wants to be, but he gets himself in trouble. He went to LSU and McNeese, and now he's at NC State. Shaka Smart, one of the best coaches in the country, went to Texas, and he's now at Marquette. And then Anthony Grant, who was at Alabama, and I think he's at Dayton now. So who knows, if he gets a couple championships in the A-10, he's going to wind up as a Power 5 coach, and he's certainly got a Power 5 father in Phil, who's very proud of him. So that is really, really cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great. I'm with you. I felt the same way.
I thought that it was just a cosmic day that we needed to acknowledge that. Now let's move on to the tournament, okay? And the headline for that is, how sweet is this? I mean, look, we have the Phillies at 4 and the Hoops at night. What a great day.
Best.
And I don't know who this gets credited to. It was somebody named Kevin. I feel bad not crediting people. That's important to me. But I love this graphic. I love this graphic. Whenever I pick a bracket and I'm not sure, I just think geography. And whatever team is closer to the Atlantic Ocean gets the call.
That's interesting.
Isn't that great?
So they're looking at, since 1997,
A long time.
no team in the gray has won the national championship. The last one was Arizona in 97. And what are we looking at this year? We're looking at a Sweet 16 with 13 teams. Only 3 of them are in the gray. And those 3 are Texas Tech, BYU, and Arizona. Before you say Houston, I broke out my map. They're in the green. So I don't think it's happening this year either, boys. And it moves on. I think that's really wild.
It is wild. When you think about it, go back in history, even before 97, the only teams in the gray would be what, UCLA and Arizona?
Yeah, well, UCLA dominated for so long, sure.
Right, that's it.
And, Arizona won another time. You go, you got to go way back. You got to go back to Bill Russell in, San Francisco, like that. So a lot of the up there is a big wasteland, Corral up in Montana and Wyoming, and it's a lot of open spaces.
You know what's funny? I like to almost break it down by just our East Coast and see where we stand, where it stands.
Yes, that would be cool. We might have to slice that thing up and come at it.
Yeah.
So what do you think tonight, guys? I mean, the next the couple things I thought about from the tournament was, I can't believe St. John's is out. Boy, they were terrible.
Oh, they were bad. I know.
I've seen every game but one, and it was probably the best. The only game I did not see was Florida UConn, which was a great game last week.
Yeah,
I was driving. I meant to get back at a certain time from Seattle, but I got stuck in a car and I had to get play-by-play in the phone by my the guy sitting shotgun, my friend Dave Liebig. But boy, I missed that. But I mean, what do you guys think? I think all the ones are moving on.
Yeah, I do too. So you got BYU, Alabama. I think that's potential. I think BYU, because they can score and Alabama leaks points, I think they got a shot as an upset.
I agree with you. I think that's the best shot for the dog to win tonight.
Yes, because Florida's winning. Duke's winning.
Florida's winning big.
Yes.
Because they really had to sweat that one out. There's goofiness going on at Maryland, and I think Florida's going to bust out tonight.
Yeah, I could totally see it. The only thing that gave me pause about Florida was they looked a little vulnerable to ball pressure up top.
Yes, could be. They got good guards, but they weren't, but that's Major League ball pressure when it's UConn.
Duke's going to win, like we know. I like Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech rolls Arkansas. I think Texas Tech, people are sleeping on. They're pretty good.
Right. And then you got for tomorrow. I like Izzo over Mississippi.
And, I don't know. Hold on for 1 second. I might be a little too present, but I like that Ole Miss veteran backcourt, man. Those kids are older. They're guard oriented. They're tough. I like them. I think they're going to give them a sweat.
Okay. And then I think, Kentucky, Tennessee will be a war.
Yeah.
There's a great local story out of Kentucky. There's a kid named Matt Santoro. He is the son of my friend Chris Santoro with the LaSalle. Years ago, Chris asked me to look into a guy named Mark Pope.
Wow.
Because what happened is his son Matt is a manager at Pitt, and he's dying to get into basketball. And he got a nibble from BYU to go in on the bottom floor. And I didn't even really have to act for Chris because he's an attorney, and some other attorney said, you know what? I live next to Mark Pope and his wife in New York, salt of the earth, great people. And that's all Chris wanted to know, that his son was going to go somewhere that was a class act. So Matt goes out there for 1 year in the bottom of the totem pole with Mark Pope. Then all this stuff happens at Kentucky, and Mark Pope gets the job, and I'm thinking, well, he doesn't have to. But sure enough, Matt Santoro will be like 18 months removed from being the Pitt manager, is going to be sitting on that bench with Kentucky.
God bless. That's a great story.
And the game this year where Pope credited him for something they did with a rebounding edge, something he put in. So local kid named Matt Santoro, kind of a fun little local story. And by the way, PHLY, you don't miss anything on the local, because I was going to make one of my things this week, Kevin McGonigal, but you and Jimmy did a fabulous job on the Bonner guide. Look out for Bonner. My boys went there.
Shortstop high. Monsignor Bonner's shortstop high, baby.
Yep. Jimmy Haley was in the Phillies organization from Senior Bonner, got to AAA, just didn't get there. So I just wanted I wanted bat for him. For Haley would have been a beautiful thing in the majors. And I think McGonigal's going to get some at bats in the majors.
Yeah. Oh no, that kid's That kid's good, man. Yeah. He's a fascinating story. I'm sorry, guys.
You take care of everything. You see it. You guys and the people that work for you. You see these guys before it happens, and it's a credit. That's why people ought to be dialing in on this every day.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, brother. So
let's go to baseball, or go ahead.
Let's go on to baseball.
Okay, I've got double Phillies, and I've got Dodgers.
All right, go Dodgers, and then we'll go double Phillies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the Dodgers, I have, Dodgers define all in. And I make the juxtaposition with the Eagles. I have no problem with what the Eagles are doing, but the Dodgers win it this year. And my God, did they back up the truck to go all in? And I don't know. I never been able to really work up a real strong dislike to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are fine. But boy, they're really putting themselves in a position that all of baseball is going to be gunning for this squad. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, just when they load up the lineup and they load up that rotation, then they finally, late in the thing for seasoning, throw in a lefty righty killer thing on the bullpen with the lefty, I guess Banks, is it, and Kirby Yates.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
No, they're scary, dude. I'm with you, Pat. They're frightening. Yeah. Interestingly, you don't hate the Dodgers.
I don't. It's funny. I reserve that. Like, I have a friend that loves me getting lathered up about hating. And so I'm picking the ones that I really don't like and trying to let go. Like, so it's still Bruce Pearl and the colleges.
Yeah, but it's sports slowly. Hate. Like, it's not real. But, I mean, come on. Like, there's context in the hate.
Right. But, no, I mean, I got enough worked up with the Braves and the Mets, So,
I think I hate the guy. I hate the guy.
And Jimmy Salisbury.
Yeah, Jimmy likes to. Jimmy's a
he's sympathizer. Yeah, what's going on? Is it the blue?
They got a guy in the team I root for. I don't care where he's at. I root for Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, he's a great dude. I listen. I love Ohtani too. I'll be honest with you. I think Ohtani's a great story, but it's still Dodgers. Like, I close my eyes, I see Steve Garvey and Ron Cey.
Yes, the Penguin.
Oh.
I mean, how do you not hate Steve Garvey?
Hey, let me tell you, Anthony, you're so right. That had a lot of hate-to-face guys on that team. Yeah. You know what? Next time Bo's on, and I'm not sure if he's on today, but next time
he's coming on in 15 minutes.
All right. Well, tell Bo that the last guy didn't hate the Dodgers, and we'll get Larry a little riled up on that.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah. But
you're a Fernando fan? What's going on here?
I like that Fernando mania back in the day. That was cool. That was cool. I'm not a Dodgers fan, and look, they're the big bad wolf this year. So let's knock them down.
Yes.
But I can't get up a lather. I can certainly get up a lather and predict that the Mets are going to win 65 games. They won't, but it'd be fun to talk about it.
Yeah.
We did talk about the Mets. I really like what they got 1 through 4. I'm really not too thrilled with what they got 5 through 9.
They're pitching.
Do you guys worry about the Mets more than the Braves? I don't.
No, I worry about Atlanta. I worry about the Braves more than the Mets. I think the Braves, if they're healthy, remember, they got decimated by injuries. They got talent down there. They scare me more than the Mets.
Yes.
They always got kids. I just saw a video of a 19-year-old they got throwing like 99. Looks ridiculous in spring so far.
Yes.
Hate the Braves.
Yeah. So a little Phillies action now. The first one, the headline is, "Are fast starts overrated?" And it made me dig in to look that, everybody say, well, boy, what do you think about the Phillies? And we got the one guy we know we really need a big year out of. And you think, well, I think they'll be good, but they got to get off to a fast start. Well, no, they really don't have to get off to a fast start. I've looked at the last 11 Phillies playoff teams and their starts. 2024, 2011, last year was great. 2023, 15-15. The year they went to the series, 11-12. 11 was 18-9. 2010, 13-10. 2009, they lose in the series, 11-10. The year they won it, 16-13. 2007, 12-14. 93, Kruk and the boys, 17-6. They needed a fast start because a couple of those guys would be wheezing at the end. Then the Wheeze kids, Tony Perez and Pete Rose and them, 12-7. And then Schmitty and them that won the World Series, 7-9. The last 3 Phillies teams that got to the World Series got off a combined 38-35.
Wow.
That's pretty 500-ish. So it's interesting to look at that. I think what you need for the Phillies is you don't want to flop out of the gate, but they don't have to be 18-6 on May 1st.
Well, remember, I mean, last year, I think it worked against them. They got off to that torrid start. They had the best record in baseball. April, May, June, they're playing. And the next thing you know, it was a downslide the rest of the season.
Yeah, they were outrageous right up until when they played the Mets in London. Then it got a little funky after that. It really did. Yeah.
So I'm with you.
I meant to write it down. I'll have it for us one day. There's a fabulous website that I always use that you can plug in any date at any season, and it'll show you what the major league standings are.
Wow.
And
That's
what I use.
cool.
I feel bad. I meant to write it down. I will make a point to do that next week. So when I'm thinking, what could I do about opening day? Let's look at how they start. I plugged in May 1st, and you just kept changing the year. And it's
awesome.
really cool.
I love that stuff.
Yep. All right. Want to get to the main event?
Let's do it. And then I got one thing for you after that.
Sure. And the headline there is it's opening day. And our art for that is going to be something that there you go.
Wow.
What that is, Anthony and GG, that is the guide to the 2008 Phillies baseball guide in the Daily News. And it says MV3 ? Because if you'll remember in 2006, Ryan Howard was the MVP. In 2007, Jimmy was the MVP. And, a lot of people seem to like Utley the best, but he's the only one of the three that didn't get it. But I think they'd be more happy that they didn't get a third MVP and that they won the World Series. But, and we're in the middle of some good times with these Phillies now. And I don't see any reason why we don't. I look at you talked about the Eagles and they had the best roster in the NFL. And I look at the Phillies and there's not a lot of holes in that roster. Look, we'd all prefer the outfield to be a little better, but I'll take that starting five and the bulk of that lineup, and I'll take my chances. I think they'll be good again.
So I'm with you. And I to me, I want to channel our love of this game. Like, we know that, the Eagles are number one, and we've always we're football crazed and the whole thing. But you are a historian, and you remember when the Phillies and baseball was number one in this town. Like, there was a point in time when I was a little kid where it was baseball, man. People really, it changed. I think it flipped in the late 80s is when I think football overtook baseball as the number one sport in Philadelphia.
I agree with that. That sounds about right. And football, that's why when we were doing our All Eagles Super Bowl team, when I reflected on it, I can't overlook the contribution of Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil took years of dreck and got them back to the top. And, it gave people a little taste. And then we got to the point where we started having consistently good teams. And I think that's right. And people really load up for their Red October or whatever, but it was all Phillies all the time. The way we were about the offseason with the Eagles, that's the way we were dying for any hot stove stuff back in that day.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was amazing. Like when opening day would come about, it was a big deal. Like, opening day was a monster across this town.
Yeah. And there was stuff throughout, Jimmy was up in Rhode Island, Salisbury, but the thing where they went to the AV and brought the TV down, that was happening in grade schools throughout Philadelphia.
Yeah, you hear more and more stories of that happening.
And some of that was because we were waiting for Kite Man to crash in the 700 level, or the parachute guy. I remember that that bullpen catcher, Iron Mike Ryan, that they would drop balls out of the airplane.
Mike Ryan,
I don't know how he caught that in the catcher's glove. but he did. But boy, you get Bill Giles wound up about some of those promotions with Kite Man and Walenda and all that stuff.
The flying Walendas.
Yeah. Oh my
Hey,
God.
I remember watching Carl Walenda walk across a wire in between games of a doubleheader with the Mets at the Vet.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I watched that game from the bullpen cart. They let you on the field, or they let you down. They didn't let you on the field because Walenda might fall on top of you. But I kept thinking it's a doubleheader, and here's Walenda. And, what are they going to do if the poor guy has an accident?
Right?
So,
no net involved.
I see Flores lined up in the bullpen. Wait till you get him started on the Dodgers.
well, why don't you say hello to him? How did the Daily News cover the great Larry Bowa?
Well, the Daily News covered him a lot and frequently, and we know what a great career he had and what an incredible – nobody got more out of their talent than Larry. And there's no town in Philadelphia – there's no town in America who's ever had two shortstops of the defensive quality of Larry and Jimmy Rollins. Not even close.
Yeah, I used to get mad, Pat. I used to drive me nuts. The guy I hated the most was Dave Concepcion. All right, from the Reds.
Yeah.
He was the Red shortstop, and back in the day, they would for the All-Star game, they would have the Gillette All-Star ballots, and I would sit there for hours. I'd take them all home, right?
Punching
And I would punch. I had the number 2 pencil, and I would punch the ballots for Larry Bowa. I mean, if I told you how many days, hours I spent doing that, it used to piss me off. Because, by the way, Concepcion, he had a rag arm. He had to bounce at the first from the hole, right? Bowa was the greatest.
More of a hitter, that guy. More of a hitter. The other thing about Larry and covering him in the Daily News is, and I always say, give me Charles over Doc any day because you never knew what Charles was going to say. Larry was great copy as a manager.
There he is.
Because he said what was on his mind. There he is. Larry Pat McClune, how are you?
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Good. And, besides the fact that Larry was a terrific manager, he was a guy that didn't shy away from stuff. And if you asked him a question, you got a real good answer. And, if you asked him the question the wrong way, he might tell you a little bit. So that's great stuff when you get a guy that's great copy like that.
Bo,
yes.
How much did you hate the Dodgers?
I don't like the Dodgers at all. Even though I coach for them, I love Joe Torre. I thought he was a great manager. But, no, I don't like the Dodgers. And you know what, Ant? Go look what we did last year against them, 5-1. So we're looking for the challenge this year. We know that on paper they're supposed to win everything, but the game's not won on paper.
The game's not won on paper, Pat. Here you go. That's your headline tomorrow, baby. I love it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of those series. God bless. Hey, how great would it be sitting here in October with that as the NLCS? That would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we need another parade.
Yes. We were talking about that Dodger team from like your day with Garvey and Say, and I hated them. I hated them almost as much as I hated the Reds.
Well, if we had instant replay, we wouldn't have to worry about one play. I know that.
That's right. They're still whining about that, Bo.
I know.
They're still whining about it. They're mad that you were so fast in the second reaction there.
I know. They still are talking about it, but oh well. We finally got it done in 80, and hopefully this team can get it done this year.
That's right, brother. By the way, I spent hours with those Gillette All-Star ballots. Because it used to drive me nuts. I hated Dave Concepcion with a passion. And I would sit there I had the number 2 pencil, and I would poke the hole. Shortstop, Bowa.
I appreciate that, Ant. Believe me, I do. I had a lot of fun.
I go back, and I could be wrong, Larry, but I think that when you first came up, the first guy that you flipped it to for the double play was Denny Doyle. Is that right?
Yes, it was. Yep. Yep. He came up with me through all the way from Spartanburg to Reading to Eugene, Oregon to the big leagues. Yep.
That's awesome. My brother, Pat, listen, thank you, pal. You're the best, buddy.
Okay, happy opening day.
Happy
Great
opening
talking to
day.
you, Larry. See you guys.
There he
All
is,
right,
the
take
great
care,
Pat McClune
Take care.
from the editor's desk. And, of course, here he is, the man, Bo Adamas.
Yeah.
Hey, before we start, how about the birds? How much did you enjoy that?
I loved it. You could see from about the 7th or 8th game on, this team was real. I thought the head coach did a great job, the general manager, the players, obviously, without the players, and the big pickup from the Giants. I mean, what else can you say? I'm looking for a repeat from them. I know it's way early, but they're good. They're really good. And they deserve Kansas City. That game was out of hand quick.
It was, man. That was a party. Where'd you watch it from?
I think is my mic off or yours, Anth? I didn't hear what you said.
Where did you watch the game at? Oh, he's not. Bo not hearing us?
I don't know what we're getting here
Because
I can't hear Anth. I
you
see
can't hear it?
moving.
I think it's on your end. Andrew, why don't you call Bo and see? Andrew's going to call you to try to fix it. Okay?
Okay.
Do that while we'll take care of some business. Okay, Andrew? Call Larry. All right, we'll take care of some business.
Ooh, 2 Philly legends.
Yeah, that's great. Pat and Boa.
Pat
That's
and
all I
Boa.
love it. That's fantastic.
It's like the greatest Thanksgiving table.
I know. It's great. It's great. All right. Here we go. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. That's it. Only 16 teams remain. All right. There we are. And tonight it starts. In fact, we're going to be live. We're going to do today's all baseball. Tonight's the tournament. I'm going to be with Dick Girardi, 5 to 7 from Parks to go over the tournament. So please watch us. We'll give you picks, the whole thing for tonight. We'll suss it all out. The Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app is your cover for the tournament and baseball. But for the tournament futures, 25 on Duke pays 50, 25 on Florida, 68.75, 25 on Houston, 112.50, 25 on Auburn, 125, 25 on Tennessee, 350. All right.
Let me give you, there's one lock today. Whenever news breaks, big news, Castellanos hits home runs.
Oh, that's right.
So we got a Torts
Casty
Dinger +6. It's 6-1 +600.
Oh, you got to put something on that.
Yeah, you have to. Every time there's a news story that breaks that's kind of big, he does something. It's a home run.
Well, here's the beauty of it, too. Casty, it's a lefty and Gore against a right-handed Casty.
Yeah.
So the matchup is there.
Yes.
I love it. That's a great way to do it. Hey, and you can do all that, right? All the props and the futures and you name it. There's always another way to win on the Bet Parks Online Casino and Sportsbook app. All right? You got live dealer blackjack and roulette and poker and you name it. Hot online slots based on movies like Rocky, Ted, Goonies. Your favorite slots like Cash Eruption. My man loves it. You got 88 Fortunes, Cleopatra. You got shows like Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders slots. They got it all over there at Parks. And in fact, new users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, I'm going to talk to you about our friends over at GLAT. So if you got some thinning out hair, some receding hairlines, and I've been there, and you're paranoid, you always got to wear a hat on, you wear how the wind blows your hair so it shows your scalp. You don't have to go through all that. So GLAT Hair, they've been restoring and defending hairlines for over 30 years, and it's no wonder they got the reputation they do. Their proven results and experienced team are just a few reasons why the GLAT Hair name has stood the test of time. GLAT Hair by Morgan Stern Medical isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough specialized GLAT Hair technique really does dramatically change lives and hairlines. The GLAT Hair, well, it consists of a few things. First of all, you get one-on-one care. You get a 100% personalized hair restoration plan of action designed just for you and your specific hair loss. You get some follow-up care, and they hook you up with some cutting-edge hair loss prevention treatments, medications, and more. GLAT Hair, they can help you keep the hair you already have or help you bring back the hair you've already lost. If you like some more information and you're ready to defend that hairline of yours, today visit GLATHAIRMM.com. GLATHAIRMM.com. Or give them a call or text them 610-980-4000.
I like it. What?
Like a good head of hair.
I love it.
Back in the day.
I love it.
I vaguely remember the days of a good head of hair.
Did you? Well, you had that long hair, that rocker hair.
Yeah, I had the old actual rose hair.
Yeah, you had the actual rose hair.
But I pop in and out. I'm trying to boil water in the Instant Pot. I've never boiled water, so I want to make sure I don't burn the place down. So I pop in and out. I'm checking on the water temperature for the dogs.
I like it because we're having a baseball party, opening day party here. By the way, this portion of the show is brought to you by Rite Aid, riteaid.com/PHLY for the nearest pharmacy and store near you. All right. Couple things. We got a MLB party. You're going to do hot dogs.
Yeah, maybe
you
get
sent
some
me
beers.
the best thing you did was you sent me about the mustard, the choices. So you went with the hot horseradish,
Spicy horseradish mustard.
Great choice.
Yeah, we like it brown and hot, but a little hotter maybe.
Yeah.
I got to say, whoever's the route runner peddling Cracker Jacks in this neighborhood, Tasty Cake Dom needs to teach them about getting your route. I could not find Cracker Jacks. Wegmans, Wawa's, CVS's, Acme's. There's no Cracker Jacks.
There's no Cracker Jacks?
No. Wegmans are like, we got
Is
them.
Cracker Jack out?
They
still,
I think they're sold out. Wegmans was sold out. I saw this place where they should have been out. And
we got them?
So yeah,
there he is.
Nice.
We got him back. The great Larry Bowa. You hear me now, buddy?
Can you hear? No.
I don't think he hears us.
No, I can't hear.
No.
He can't hear.
That's a shame. Oh, man. Bowa Thomas. Andrew doing a good job trying to walk Larry.
Working the lines.
Through it.
So we got poppycock. As close as I could get. Take me out of the ball game. Peanuts and poppycock.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I listen, that's fine. You need that taste.
Yeah.
And it goes with the peanuts.
Yeah.
You need the taste. We got lots of beers in there.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
So when we got the dogs.
Yeah.
We'll get some cold beers and we'll toast the season.
This is going to be a good one. We got 7 months of baseball.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I have to tell you.
My mom's calling me last night. What time's the game start? You know, it's her. She got something to watch every night now.
So here's your schedule. Now let me ask you a question. Will you, because this is how I do it. I love, and I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine who's a big baseball dude. He's like, when it comes back, we're all in on it.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Watching on. Do you watch other teams?
Yeah, I was watching MLB. I watch the MLB channel frequently.
So I'm the same way. I freaking love this thing. So coming on, you have Milwaukee and the Yankees at 3:00.
All right.
Baltimore, Toronto.
2 teams that are supposed to be decent.
At 3:07. Phillies, Nationals, 4:05. That'll be our game. And then you got Red Sox, Rangers, Pirates, Marlins, which is a great matchup. Skeens, Alcantara.
Skeens might have 18 strikeouts today.
Giants, Reds.
Yeah. There's a Padres Braves, a good opening series.
Yeah, there's a lot
That's
of
at
410 games. There's a ton of 410 games.
Yeah.
And then here's what I'm looking forward to tonight. Late night, Cubs, Diamondbacks, A's, Mariners.
Cubs, Diamondbacks,
and the basketball.
Yeah, Cubs spent some money. They made some trade. They had Kyle Tucker. So that should be good tonight.
Dodgers, by the way, Snell Skubal tonight at 7 is pretty good. Yeah. Skubal's ridiculous.
Skubal's ridiculous. I'm not a huge Snell fan.
He's got a live arm. Let's see if we got Larry back. Larry, do you hear us? Do you hear us now, Bo? Wow, it's weird.
He had us for a bit.
He had us the whole time.
That's weird.
He had us the whole time.
Phone's not down, is it?
You guys are.
That's weird.
I just turned the volume up.
Yeah, that's a shame. Darn. All right. You hear us now, Larry? No. No. That sucks. We love you, Larry. Yeah. That's a shame, man. Bowa Damas.
Bummer Damas.
I know. I was dying to hear about. All right, let's kind of go through you and I.
He's got excitement. He knows what's up. He's been down there. He's got his finger on the pulse of this team.
I know. I was dying to kind of hear what he thinks. He was pumped up.
Yeah,
Listen,
he's got his Phillies gear on.
He bleeds Phillies red, right? Which we love about him. But he feels that. Well, listen, he's been right on with this team.
Right.
So let's go through it.
Yeah.
All right. The lineup.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, is it out yet?
Yeah, Turner's leading off.
Turner is leading off?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Turner's leading off. It's Gore. I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to wind up doing a platoon with lefty righty with Schwarber and how they do it. But it's going to be Phillies is going to be Turner, and then it'll be interesting because whether they go Harper in the 2-hole, which I think he's going to be in the 2-hole, Bohm, Schwarber, JT, Kepler, Castellanos, Stott, Rojas.
Rojas?
Maybe.
You can't go Rojas.
You don't think? Lefty?
No.
You don't think
he just told us, Marsh, he's going to be the everyday center fielder.
You don't think?
Yeah.
That's what it said over here.
Is that a projection?
Yeah, it's a projection.
Oh, all right, yeah.
It's
the whole interesting thing is with Harper at 2, when he'll do it. He's not super happy. He likes to be the 3-hitter.
Yeah, I know, but who cares, right? Like, come on,
who cares
Bryce?
with the greatest player in the league?
I love him. But here's the thing: I just want him to. If Turner's leading off,
yeah,
I wouldn't even be against. Here's the problem: he loves hitting third.
He loves it. They got their little idiosyncrasies. Wheeler likes the 5 days rest. Don't mess with me. Don't give me 6 days rest.
I know.
Baseball is quirky, man. It gets in guys' heads.
I know it does. I know.
And they like to be comfort. They like their comfort.
You know what's funny is I hear about. It's funny. Dave said the guys don't care. Like batting order is a batting order, but I think I see it in youth. I remember when we were kids.
Yeah,
like how you felt like you were that order, like that was you.
You like to know where you're hitting. Then you're like, oh man, 2. If I'm suddenly a 4-hitter and I'm on a 2, it's like, well, right, that's weird.
Like it was, it was weird. Like in the early, like 2020, like when the late teens into the early 20s, where they would have the 4-hole hitter was like some Punch and Judy hitter.
What do you mean by Punch and Judy?
Brad, who was the dude that hit 4th? Bamboo Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Remember his hit cleanup?
Yes.
It's like they devalued cleanup.
Yes. I just saw, who's the guy that we got last year at the trade deadline? He had the kidney issue. Austin Hayes?
Yeah.
Wherever he is, he's batting 4th, someone said yesterday on Twitter.
Austin Hayes hit cleanup?
Yeah, that's what someone said on Twitter yesterday.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Hey, someone was saying, someone had a suggestion. Can we just do Bowa on the phone? Just to get the... Can't.
Really? Yeah. All right. Well, we're still working on the call-in feature of the show because it's more of a visual in digital television. That's what we're kind of looking at. All right. So let's kind of go dive back into our expectations. Yep. So if I hit you with home run expectations.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Turner.
24.
Harper.
38.
Schwarber.
40.
Okay.
We got some bombs coming this year.
You feeling it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you Casty.
25.
25.
Yeah.
JT.
15.
15.
Yeah. More doubles, hopefully.
Boom.
I want 20. I'll say 18.
20?
I would love 20. I'd love him to give us 20 doubles and 20 hits.
We got him.
All right.
Look, he's all Phillied up. Look at that hat.
It's a great hat, by the way. You look great, by the way. Thanks for your patience, buddy.
All right, no problem.
All right. So you were down there. Let's go for it. Let's look at the lineup and let's how do you see the batting order with Turner? I know we talked about it all spring. You think he goes lefty righty? Sometimes he'll tinker, put Schwarber leading off. How do you kind of see the lineup kind of figuring itself out?
I think against left-handed pitching, Trea Turner will probably lead off. And against right-handed pitching, I think Schwarber will probably lead off. That's the vibe I'm getting from down there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. That kind of seems that way. You like that? You think that could, I mean,
I personally, because back when we played, we had a set lineup, and we knew who was hitting in front of us and who was hitting behind us, which most of the players at that time really liked. I think with the way the game is played today, the analytics send down things to the manager that make a suggestion, which could possibly be the best production out of your lineup. So it's a different game. I personally like the regular lineup. If you have, who's hitting in front of you and behind you. And I don't know, you just get a better feel for what kind of pitches you're going to get. But again, like I said, the game's changed a little bit. And I'm sure he experimented a lot down there. He had different guys leading off. I think Stott led off one game. He had Schwarber. He had Trea Turner. He had Rojas lead off one game. He experimented with it. But I think the bottom line is going to be from what I gather, he's going to start off. I looked at the lineup today, and it looks like he's going to go with the left-handed hitting lineup. Even though we're facing a real good pitcher in Gore, I think he's going to stay with that, give those left-handed hitters a chance to prove to him that they can hit left-handed pitching.
Yeah, listen, we were just talking about it with Marsh. So Marsh in the lineup, I like to see it. I like to see Stott. You might as well give him a shot. Let them see what they can do with it. I agree with that. To me, it's about Turner, though. Like, I want to see Turner really establish himself at the top of the order, be aggressive on the bases, right? Swipe bags. I think he could be the engine.
I agree. I think Turner's the ideal leadoff hitter. And you know what you want from your leadoff hitter? People make predictions and everything. I think if your leadoff hitter can score 100 runs, then that's going to show you that he's getting on base, he's getting his walks, he's getting his base hits, the guys behind him driving him in. So I think a goal for a leadoff hitter, where you're playing now or playing back when we played, is score 100 runs for your team. And I think all the other pieces will fall into place.
Yeah, and Bo, I mean, it's not like Turner doesn't have pop. Like, Trea's got some pop, right? Like, so you could still be up 1-0,
Oh, without a doubt. He's going to hit between 20 and 30 home runs. And his average is going to be over 300 normally, 290 above. And I think him batting leadoff, it might open up some lanes for him to steal bases. When he was hitting second and Hart was hitting third, say it's the fifth inning and the score's tied, he steals second. As we all know, when you go into a meeting before the game, there's one player you say don't let him beat you. And obviously with the Phillies, when they play us, it's don't let Bryce Harper beat you. So Turner steals second. Now they can put him on first base open. And I'm not saying anything, whoever bats behind Hart, right, but you want Hart up there where they can't pitch around him and make him throw strikes to him. And he can do a lot of damage, as we know. But I think in the long run, I think Thompson's going to eventually go with the lineup that's most productive. I think early in the year, you're going to see what we just saw at the end of spring training against left-handers. Turner's going to lead off, and against right-handers, Schwarber.
Let's go around the dime a little bit. What do you expect from JT? Contract year, he says he wants to catch 120 games.
I'll tell you what, Ant, I get down there at 5 o'clock every morning. This guy's in the gym every minute in before the workouts even started. He's probably in the best shape that I've seen. He's always in great shape. Yeah. But this year he's taken another step. And I know they're trying to cut down on games played. I think they want him to play maybe 125, 130 to give him rest. That's a tough position to play. This guy plays every inning of every game. He's a tough dude. And him and Schwarber, They're the last year of their contracts. And I don't think it affects the way they play, but mentally they're saying, you know what? I still have a lot left in the tank. And I know both of them would love to play in Philly. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's so valuable to what they've done. Having that kind of behind the plate, having that kind of presence, veteran presence, it's just huge. All right, how about Bohm? What kind of mentality? Everybody tells you he had a great outlook this spring.
Unbelievable. I think he did some soul searching during the winter about, everybody was on him about he gets mad, he pouts and all that. I think Alex has grown up a lot. I think the second half of the season sort of humbled him a little bit. He's had a tremendous spring, hitting the ball the other way, playing great defense at third base. I expect big things out of this guy. He puts the ball in play. He's one of the guys in our lineup that when there's a man on third base, he's going to put the ball in play. And he's probably going to hit near the top, not in the top of the order, but in the middle where he can drive in a lot of runs. This guy's had, like I said, when you see Alec Bohm hitting the ball the other way, the way he did in spring training, I think that's a great sign for our ball club.
I mean, he's got great play coverage. I mean, you see him. He's a really good hitter. I'm with you. And the last time he faced this adversity was, remember, the error game and I hate this place, blah, blah, blah. And what did he do? He had a great attitude. He turned it around. He played great defense. I think he responds the same way at the plate.
I do too. And again, here's a guy, he read all the stuff about getting traded, and you sit down with guys like this and a guy like Marsh and Stott and Bohm. And I tried to tell Alex, if you take a look at our lineup, everybody's long-term contract, making big money. So those three names, they aren't there yet. So obviously they would be teams there would be guys that teams would be interested. They're not making a ton of money. They're not under long-term contracts. And you try to explain to people like that, hey, this is a business. No one's going to pick up Harp's contract. No one's going to pick up Trea Turner's contract. So most of our everyday players are either making big money or under long-term contracts. So those three guys' names, obviously, we're going to be involved in a lot of trade talks. That doesn't mean we're going to trade them. I think Dave went out there and threw the fishing line out there and said, what can we get for these guys? I think you're always trying to improve your team. And, of course, Dave didn't do anything. And sometimes the best trades that are not made are the best trades for your organization.
What excites you the most about the rotation? I mean, you look at this rotation, man, it's deep.
I love our rotation. I really do. I want Ranger to get back quick. I don't think it's a serious injury. I think they're being very, very precautious about this. I mean, you got 5 starters that they can go out there, lights out. Sanchez, to me, might have been the best pitcher of the spring. This guy's unbelievable right now. And, of course, we know what Wheeler and Nola can do. And then getting Luzardo from Miami. And then you have Ranger. And Ty Walker, I know he had a rough last outing. He came in really good shape. So I'm not really concerned about our 5-starter right now. I think we have enough depth. The 5 starters are going to do good. And then when Ranger comes back, I'm sure that Ty will be in the bullpen. But this I go through the whole National League East. I don't see anybody as deep as us pitching-wise. And I love our bullpen. It's just a matter of us putting things together in October. We haven't done it. We did it against Houston. And I have to admit that Houston had a real good team, and they beat us. But the 2 years after that, Arizona and the Mets, nothing against neither team. I think they're very competitive teams. But I think our team was better than Arizona, and I think our team is better than the Mets. So those are 2 things you can't get back. And I think our guys they're very aware of what's transpired here the last couple of years about getting so far and then getting eliminated. They don't want to do that again. And as you know, Anthony, you covered baseball, you've watched it. You have to be lucky to get to the final dance. You also have to be good. You have to get a break here and there, and hopefully we can do that this year.
Yeah, the thing about Sanchez is amazing. He's a great story. I mean, he's touching 97, 98. Like, you don't see that a lot. No. That's impressive.
And then you throw that changeup, which is probably as good as anybody's in the league. It makes him look like it's 104 velocity because he's got great depth on his changeup. he's got ice water in his veins. You get out there, it looks like he's playing catch with JT. I would see right now, if he's healthy the whole year, I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he's going to get some Cy Young votes. This guy, he's the real deal, and he's really come a long way since we acquired him from Tampa. I expect big things out of this guy.
You got to look at the kid, because at some point toward the end of the year, Painter is going to be up here, and everybody says he's starting to look good.
He's electric, and this guy is the real deal. And again, I want to, he's just starting this process out. They did the right thing. They kept him down in Clearwater. No need bringing him up here, not with the big club, even Reading or Lehigh Valley. It's cold. You don't want him to go through that. So he's probably going to stay down there in Clearwater. When he gets ready to start, I'm sure he'll make a start or two at Clearwater. Then he'll go to Reading. Then he'll go to AAA. And if we have him and everything is A-OK with him, and you add him at the trade deadline, wow. I mean, this guy's got number one stuff. And he's, like I said, he commands the baseball. He got great velocity. He's got great makeup. His work ethic's off the chart. So if this goes the way we think it will, you talk about picking up somebody at the deadline. This would really put this over the hump.
Hey, did you get a chance to see Crawford and Miller?
Yes, outstanding. Crawford's real close. Miller's starting out in AA. I like both of them. I also, I think we got a couple pitchers down there, but those guys are going to be knocking at the door real quick, believe me. Crawford, he's special. He's got a lot of speed. And Miller, I still think, they asked me if I thought he could play short, and I just watched him in spring training. He can play short. He can play third. He can play second. He's going to be a force. He can hit. So they're going to have to make room for both these guys eventually. I'm not saying this year, but I could see if there was an injury to one of our outfielders, I could see Crawford getting called up. I really could.
Wow. All right. I got a couple things. Let's talk opening day. Okay. And when I say opening day to you, of all these opening days, what year in this game is it for you?
Gosh, Ants. Well, counting the minor leagues, 66 was my first year. So I got a lot of time. 70 was my first year in the big leagues.
Wow.
So, you're talking 30-some years. I'm very blessed and with health and, of course, John Middleton and Dave letting me do my thing in spring training. So I thank those guys. But it's been a great run for me, but I want to have another parade with this ball club.
So what do you remember from? I'm going to start in sections. Your first, what comes to mind if I say minor league opening day? Young Larry Bowa.
Oh, Spartanburg, South Carolina. I didn't make high school. I didn't get drafted, and to be the starting shortstop in Class A ball was something that I look back on and say, wow. Just a lot of hard work. And of course, again, being lucky, being in the right place at the right time. I had Bob Wellman as my manager, who I think was one of the guys that laid the groundwork for me to become a better ball player in person. That year we won 26 games in a row. Then we lost one. Then we won another 13. We faced Nolan Ryan. My very first game was against Nolan Ryan. I had 4 punch outs, and I was ready to get a plane ticket back to Sacramento. And Bob Wellman told me, he says, this guy's going to be special. And I'm thinking of managers patting me on the back trying to build. And it happened to be Nolan Ryan. I went, wow. So I look back on that and I sort of laughed because I finally got even with him in 80. When I led that inning off with a single, we ended up knocking him out and then beating Houston and going to the World Series. So that was a big moment in Spartanburg. No question about that.
All right. Bowa as a Philly.
Opening day at Connie Mack, because the odds of me making the big leagues, Anthony, were 1,000,000 to 1 probably. Not getting drafted, not playing high school, and the fact that I was starting for the Philadelphia Phillies. And again, we talk about being in the right place at the right time. They were rebuilding. They were going with kids. If it was a veteran team that was supposed to win the division, I would have never made that team and probably maybe never got to the big leagues. but the timing was perfect. The manager came up with me all the way from AA to AAA, Frank Lucchese. He was my manager, and he gave me the opportunity to play every day. And so that stands out. Standing on the foul lines when they're playing the national anthem, and you're thinking about throwing the ball off the garage door and pretending you're in a World Series. All that was going through my mind, the fact that I was standing out there and playing in a big league baseball game, facing Fergie Jenkins, maybe one of the better pitchers at that time in the National League.
Oh, that's awesome. What was it like? The trade I hated the most was the Jesus trade that sent you to Chicago. What was it like for you to put on a Cubs uniform?
It was difficult. I wanted to play my whole career here, and I guess I could be to blame for some of it. I was under the understanding that before Ruley Carpenter sold the team to Bill Giles Group, that we agreed on a 3-year deal. And then obviously the transaction went through, and Bill called me up. He says, "Can you come in? I want to talk to you." And I'm thinking, he's going to sign me to this. And he said, "Well, we've been thinking about the new ownership, and we're just going to give you a 1-year deal." And I said, No. I said, "Ruley okayed this, and it just didn't work out." And then he says, "Well, you're a 5-10 guy, so you can get traded." And I said, "Well, see what you can do then." I said, because this is gentleman's agreement with Ruley, and now you don't want to honor it. And looking back, hindsight being 2020, I should have just played for the 1 year. But, at that time, everybody was getting long-term contracts. And so finally, when Dallas left, he called me and said, "Hey, you want to come to Chicago?" And I said, "Well, I can't get this contract done." So I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll go with you." And he ended up signing me to a 4-year deal when I went there. So, it worked out for me in the long run, but looking back, I would have loved to have played the whole career here in Philly.
Yeah, but you deserved you deserved it. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. So, Larry Bowa as a manager.
I tell you what, I came in, Eddie Wade interviewed me, and Terry Francona, who will be in the Hall of Fame as a manager. He had a bad team here, man. They were losing 100 games. It wasn't a good atmosphere. He didn't have players. So Eddie said, "Hey, you need to change the culture here a little bit, and I want you to come in here and see what you can do." And it worked. We ended up playing. We were over 500. We were in a playoff hunt. It really didn't have a what I call a great lineup, but we had a bunch of guys that grinded it out. And, like I said, we were over 500 every year. I would have loved to have finished that, keep going. But as it turned out, the Phillies went on and increased their payroll. And the rest is history. Charlie did a great job. They went to 2 World Series. They won 1. But that was a great experience. And I really feel that I had a part of turning this thing around, just by attitude only. And I think the guys that they responded to, it was probably a get tough attitude compared to how Terry ran it. Like I said, Terry's a great manager, but he just didn't have any horses there. So I had to come in and be the bad guy for a while, but it turned out to be okay as the Phillies progressed and eventually went to the World Series and won it in 2008.
All right, I need you to put your alter ego on, Bowa Adames. All right. For anybody that doesn't know Bowa Adames, and you should, Bowa Adames predictions are real. All right. They come true. So give me the guy that's going to have a season that we're going to be like eye popping.
Well, I'm not going to name a guy that's obvious. Bryce Harper's a stud.
Right.
There's no question about that. I think Bryson Stott is going to have a breakout year this year. I like the way he's going about his business. He's going back to his swing, hitting the ball the other way. He's using the whole field. He's a tremendous second baseman. I look for him. This lineup, man, is deep. I could pick a bunch of guys, but I'm picking him because he'll be the first to tell you he had an off year last year. I know he played hurt a little bit with the elbow, but I like what I see in spring training, and he's my sleeper guy. I think he's going to really come out and have a tremendous year for us. And I think the big boys are going to do what they're supposed to. Harp, would not shock me at all to win MVP of the league. This guy just rises to the occasion, and I know his bucket list. There's a box that's not checked yet, and I know he wants that box checked, and that's winning the World Series. So he's playing with a lot of incentive to get to the World Series, and he knows that. I'm not saying the window's closing, but our guys are getting into their 30s now.
Sure.
We got to make a move here, and just winning the division and getting by the first round, in my opinion, and I think if you ask every one of those guys, that's not good enough right now. We got to take this baby to the end, and hopefully this year, health's going to be important, especially for pitching. We can lose a regular. I shouldn't say we could lose, but pitching is what you need. And we got depth. Even right now with Ranger on the IL, we have depth. And I really like our pitching. I look at the East. I don't think anybody can compare with the starting rotation in that division with us. I really like our chances.
Who's the chief? Who do you think is the bigger competition, Braves or Mets?
I think the Braves. The Braves got some good pitching. The Mets. I know Soto's a great player. I just think, pitching wise, they're not as strong as Atlanta or us. I just don't believe that. I think their lineup's very good, but if you don't have good pitching, especially the back end of the bullpen, I mean, Diaz is a good closer, but he can be all over the place at times. I think the Braves are going to bounce back and be a good team. I really do. But I don't see any team. I don't think any team in the East is going to overtake. I think this team is too deep. I really do.
I love it. Showdown. Phil's Dodgers, baby. I love it.
The only thing bad about that is we're playing the Dodgers next weekend, and we don't play them till September after that, which I think is terrible.
I hate that. I'm glad you brought that up. I hate that.
I know, but I look at it this way. We're playing them in April. We're playing them in September, and we're going to play them in October.
I love it. Bo, we love you, man. You're the greatest. We really do.
All right. Here's my 92 to 96 wins this year.
Ooh. I like it. 92 to 96 is the number.
Oh, that's an over.
Yep.
All right. Which would be an over to our people. But
all right.
We love you, pal. You're the
all
greatest,
right, guys,
brother.
Take care, and let's go Phils.
Go Phils. We'll see you at the yard.
You got
the great Larry Bowa. He's the best. 92 to 96.
Filled out.
Hey, just a real quick thing. It's a real quick plug. If you're excited about the Phillies like we are, we have a new line of T-shirts that are coming out for opening day. Make sure to grab one of these bad boys
for
the
nice.
season. They're nice,
Yeah.
So make sure to grab one.
I like it.
Coming out today.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
That's good stuff. All right, let's take care of some business. Do we have Charlie?
Charlie was just doing an emergency pod for torts, but
Okay.
he said at 10:40 he'll be good.
All right, good. So let's take care of some business, and then we'll talk to Charlie about, in case people don't know, John Tortorella let go this morning by the Flyers.
Yep.
Notice the smile on VG's face.
It's a glow.
Yeah, you do have a glow. There's a glow about you. All right, let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Listen, guys, all right, springtime, Mother's Day's around the corner. We're only a few weeks out, all right? Next thing you know, you blink, and it's going to be early May, and Mother's Day, I think, is May 11th. So make sure that you go to Golden Nugget Jewelers, right in the heart of Jewelers Road, Center City, and take care of Mom, all right? And also, if you got kids, you got to take care of your wife, all right? You got to get the gift from the kids to your wife. It's a big deal. Got to do right. And if you met that special somebody and you're thinking about getting engaged, look no further than my man, your own, at Golden Nugget Jewelers. Just go see him. He's going to walk you through the whole process. I mean, when it comes to the diamond, pick out, right, the whole thing. The cut, the clarity, the settings. He's got the great designers, Decore, Viraggio, and it'll work within your budget to make the whole thing great. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com. Golden Nugget Jewelers is where Philly gets engaged. All right. Let's talk about, yes, the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. We're going to be tonight, Parks Casino, Street Road in Ben Salem. So we're going to have some fun. Andrew, you'll be there.
I'll be there. Yep.
All right. And we're going to be having some fun right here at Golden Nugget Jewelers. At Parks Casino.
We have fun at both places.
That's right. Dick Girardi will be with me. So we're going to break down all the Sweet 16 games. 16 teams remain. That's right. And they're back at it tonight. Here's your futures. Duke's the favorite. 25 brings back 50. Then Florida, who I like tonight. 25 brings back 68-75. Houston, 25 brings back 112.50. 25 on Auburn brings back 125. 25 on Tennessee brings back 350. All right? There you have it.
My Wildcats, Arizona, 40-1.
They had no shot.
No shot.
No shot.
You saw that graphic. No team in the West is going to win. It's Duke.
My Arizona Wildcats.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They got the Duke Killer on their
Gotta
team.
get the hat.
Duke Killer.
Who love?
Yeah. He squashed Coach K's senior night. He beat him. And he beat him on Coach K's final NCAA game.
He's 42 years old.
Yeah, let's go.
Live dealer blackjack, roulette, poker, and more, plus hot online slots right on the app. You got the slots based on movies like Rocky, Ted, and Goonies, TV shows like Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, and all your other favorite hot online slots like Cash Eruption.
Or Oink, Oink, Oink is a new one I'm looking forward to play.
Was a little pork?
It's like
three
little piggies.
There you go.
Bacon strips falling.
New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now joining us, just fresh off his emergency pod, you'll get all you need to know about the Flyers with our man, Charlie. There he is. Charlie O'Connor. What do you say, buddy?
It is a crazy day in Flyers world. Definitely trying to take away some of the spotlight from opening day for the Phillies.
Are they trying to hide it, or are they trying to take some of the spotlight?
Why not? The only thing that confused me, because I didn't think he was coming back, and you and I talked about this, but why do it now?
Well, I have to believe, and in fairness, I haven't had a lot of time to pull on sources since the news broke, because we've been doing emergency pods and whatnot. So this is more just conjecture rather than me speaking off of conversations with people plugged into the situation. I have to believe this is stemming from the comments that he made after the game on Tuesday. Now, I was there. I was on that trip. And I asked the question about whether the players were getting frustrated with the fact that last week they played 3 games against really good teams, against Tampa, Washington, and Dallas. Played quite well in all those games, lost all 3 because they just don't have the talent to score goals.
Right.
And I asked Tortorella essentially if he feels like these previous 2 games where they lost 7-4 to the Chicago Blackhawks and then 7-2 to the Toronto Maple Leafs on Tuesday, if these 2 games were the result of frustration building up on the part of the players, that they're not getting rewarded for their good games and then the structure's falling off. And Tortorella essentially said, and I want to read the quote. Let me pull up the exact quote so I'm quoting it exactly the way he said it. Hold on. Says, "This falls on me. I'm not really interested in learning how to coach in this type of season where we're at right now, but I have to do a better job. So this falls on me, getting the team prepared to play the proper way until we get to the end." Now, as someone who was there, I didn't take that the way I think a lot of people on social media took it, which was basically that, I don't care about coaching this team anymore. I think it was more, from Tortorella's perspective, meant to say, this is my fault. I need to do a better job. It was very Andy Reid-ish to me. But he worded it in a way that opened the door for the conversation to start of basically, is Tortorella quitting on his team? Is he even trying? I have to believe that while I don't think this comment is the reason on its own why he got fired, I have to believe that comment sparked a day's worth of discussions with Briere, with Keith Jones, with Dan Hilferty, and probably involving John Tortorella. And my guess is that in the midst of those conversations at some point, Briere and Jonesy and Dan Hilferty came to the conclusion that Tortorella is not the right fit to coach out the string for these final 9 games, that he is incapable of doing this the right way and not having every game be, 7 goals allowed for until the middle of April when this mercifully comes to an end. That's my guess.
Yeah, listen, I think you're probably spot on. You knew he wasn't coming back. There's a couple things. One, I don't think everybody appreciated the benching of Michkov on that weekend. It was a TNT game against the Devils, I think. And they benched him for a period and a half. And I think that rubbed people the wrong way too. I think it was already arching, like going that route. But, ultimately, I think he got his point across to the kid. I mean, the kid he's such a gifted player offensively. But, I mean, he gets back. He still tries. Like, I think he understands it.
I think that if you're talking about Tortorella's relationship with the players, this goes way back all the way to last season.
Yeah.
Really, the moment that I think, if you're talking about like him losing the room, I don't quite love that characterization because I don't think the team ever really stopped trying. But if you're talking about the moment when he lost some of the players, where some of the players just decided that Tortorella was just cruel rather than fair, I think it was when he scratched Sean Couturier last season, the captain of the team, and then had Sean Couturier, the captain of the team, become the topic of hockey conversation for a week and basically get publicly embarrassed for having a poor end of the season when he was playing through multiple injuries. I think he lost Sean Couturier that day, and I think he lost other guys in that room that day, that they were still playing because they were playing for the logo, as Cam York put it a couple weeks ago. They were playing for their teammates, but they weren't really playing for John Tortorella. And I think that if you're talking about the players being done with Torts, I think that goes all the way back to last year. Does the Michkov stuff, does benching Cam York for the final 50 minutes of 2 nights ago's game, does that matter? Sure, it matters. It gets noticed by the players. But this goes back long before that.
Is it just he's incapable of lenient, like of that sort of style? Like he only knows the scorched earth way?
He has adapted to a degree. He used to be worse. He used to be even crazier in terms of the antics he would do and how hard he would coach these guys. He has lessened up over the decades. But I do think you're right, Ant. I think that there is only one way he does know how to coach. Now, he has tempered that one way a bit, so he isn't as over the top as he used to be, but he only has one speed, and it's intense, intense, intense. And even when he tries to pull back, as I think he was trying to pull back over these last couple of weeks, he said some very understanding things on Tuesday morning about Owen Tippett, about how Tippett's been struggling with the trades of Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost, 2 of his best friends, and that he's cutting him some slack because he knows it's been tough on him. Even when Torts is trying to be warm and cuddly and trying to be understanding, he still can't help himself but to bench the first pair of defensemen for the final 50 minutes of a game on the final game of a road trip, and then put the load on 5 defensemen who already are overworked because they've been playing against great teams every night and flying all over the continent. Like, he can't pull back entirely. It's just too much of who he is. And maybe Danny Briere and Keith Jones and Dan Hilferty finally just decided enough.
Charlie, it seems like, I mean, as far as tanking goes, they've been great with this current situation. I mean, they've lost like 10 of 11. Their odds of getting better picks have been going up. What is it? Did he just not want to do it anymore? It seemed like they were on the path to let him finish out. Let's lose, I don't know, 16 of the last 18. Let's get a better draft position and just ride it out. Like, what was the breaking point? Was just him walking down, or you think that the front office after those comments were like, we just can't have him leading the room?
Well, I think it's part of that. Definitely. The comments had to have played a role because I saw Danny Briere on Tuesday. You know, he was with the team. He did an interview with the Athletics' Pierre LeBrun. It seemed like they were perfectly content, at least on Tuesday morning, to just keep rolling through the end of the year and then make decisions then. But I think there's a lot of things at play here. Number one, the comments that obviously changed things, and then the internal conversations that likely resulted from those comments. The fact that the last 2 games they got blown out, and maybe you could say they didn't get blown out on Sunday against the Blackhawks. They only lost by 3 goals, but it's the Blackhawks. They're one of the worst teams in the league. They're one of the few teams that has a worse record than the Flyers do. I think the Flyers' brain trust, of which John Tortorella is no longer part of, were okay with a lot of losses the rest of the way. But they didn't want a lot of 7-2 losses the rest of the way. They would have been fine if the team was losing games the way they were losing last week, where they're losing, you know, in overtime to the Dallas Stars or losing a 1-goal game to the Washington Capitals. You know, they're playing hard, they're playing unified. But once you lose 2 straight games where you give up 7 goals and then your coach goes out after the game, it's like, well, I'm not have an interest in learning how to coach with there not being anything on the line. Then you start wondering, like, how ugly is this going to get the rest of the way? And I don't think they wanted that. I don't think they wanted it to get that ugly, and that probably played into it.
They were the plan seemed to be he was going to move up to the front office.
Yeah, I was curious.
That plan is now kaput, done.
I mean, it sure seems like it because in the statement, it very much was stated that he's been relieved of his duties. No note about a promotion. Like I'm thinking about like what they did with Paul Holmgren, where Holmgren, you know, jumped up to the president role when he moved out of the GM role way back, 10, 12 years ago. That doesn't appear to be the case now. Whether that's because Tortorella just said, I'm a coach, I don't want to move up, or if it's because the Flyers, Danny and Jonesy and Dan Hilferty basically were like, let's just cut the cord entirely. It's not healthy to keep him around after he's essentially been fired. I don't know. Those are details that I'll be looking into over the next few days. Maybe Danny Briere himself will reveal them to us when he speaks to us at 5 p.m. at the Wells Fargo Center. But it certainly does seem like the cord has been cut entirely, and John Tortorella is not going to be part of this.
Yeah.
Your best guess as far as candidates, is there anyone internally, or you think this is an external hire for the next head coach?
I would have to believe it's probably an external hire. Brad Shaw is the interim head coach. I know he's thought of very highly, not just by the fans, but by the organization. He's done a really good job, I think, developing the Flyers defenseman. The Flyers penalty kill was really good last year. So, like, he'll be in the mix. You give the guy the interim tag, he's going to at least be in the conversation. The name that I had heard for a while, just because it's clear that he might be heading towards an exit with his current team, is Rick Tocchet. Obviously, he is very well known to Keith Jones. They're friends. Tockett's a former Flyer. Tocchet currently is coaching the Vancouver Canucks, but Tocchet has not yet been willing to re-up. He has an option with the Canucks. The Canucks have basically told him, we'd like you back. Tocchet said, I'll deal with it after the season.
Man, you want to get this city fired up.
Oh, my God. They have 22 come back.
He's a guy that I can't imagine won't be talked about a lot over these next few weeks now that the job is obviously open.
Yeah, I
like that.
I was just texting with him recently too.
Nice.
I love Tocchet, man. Tocchet would be outrageous. I mean, the fan base would get excited.
Yeah,
that would be a great hire. I mean, I think people would love that. And he's a really good coach. The thing about Tocchet is, he's a really good coach.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. The thing that Tocchet would provide is that you now let go John Tortorella, who is a very demanding coach, who demands a lot of his players. And you worry if you replace him with a nice guy that then it'll kind of just be like everybody's with the assistant teacher, or the substitute teacher. Like, well, now we can run wild and all the discipline just goes away. Tocchet is a good guy, but he's not a pushover. He's tough.
Yeah.
And he might be a guy where like he won't let the cultural impact and the discipline that Tortorella has instilled, he's not going to let that go by the wayside, but he's also not, for lack of a better word, not as mean as Tortorella was to his players. So that could be a fit.
Yeah, he's not. I agree, because I'm thinking he's not too far on the pendulum the other way. So I'm with you, Charles. So you just dropped the emergency pod.
Yes, that finished up a little bit after 10:30.
Okay, great. And then you'll be there tonight, 5 o'clock is the news conference.
Yes. Briere is going to talk before the game, and then after the game, we're going to talk with the players. There is a game that's going to be played. They are playing the Montreal Canadiens tonight, but obviously the story of this day is the John Tortorella being relieved of his duties in Philadelphia, and the Flyers now needing a new coach. Well, they have an interim coach, but they're going to need a new coaching plan, let's say.
Yeah, watch Michkov go wild tonight.
I love it. I love it.
You can see it.
Hat trick with a Michigan goal.
Well, because the Canadians have some defensive lapses at times.
Yeah.
And I can see Michkov going crazy tonight. You never know. Hey, Chow, great stuff, man. I mean, really, you're on top of everything. Thank you for joining us on short notice to talk about this. And we'll be following you all day today.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Charlie O'Connor, our all PHLY Flyers, who does such a great job. All right, time now. What do we got? Tell us, Andrew. I had Brain on the mind.
Oh, we have a caller.
We have a caller?
We have a caller, yeah.
Who do we got?
We got Sam from England.
Sammy! Let's go across the pond.
Hey, cuz. Hey, VG, Aaron.
He's got the Phillies on, buddy. I love it.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the start of the season, man. You know, I'm a big Sixers fan, so it's just been an absolute letdown since the Super Bowl and since the parade. So I've just been living off the parade. My soccer team are trash. The Sixers are trash.
Yeah, they are.
Cheers. And I just need this Phillies team, man. I need them to be good for me this year. I'm not wanting a fast start because look what happened last year. We burnt out way too quickly. And yes, you can blame my country for the London series, for the sort of mess around of last season, but we appreciated it. I actually got my London series shirt
nice, dude. That's good.
So yeah, but I know we weren't great. It was Walker's only decent game, the second one, although we lost. But so we got to see a bit of miracle in London, I suppose. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this season, man. And us fans here in England, especially the guy that runs UK Phillies, big Alec Bohm fans. So I wanted to ask you guys, do we need to get in the 20? Has he got to hit over 20 home runs this year?
I would love
as
that.
well as the RBIs.
And listen, I do. I think Bohm will give you over 20. I do. I mean, Bo has said between 20 and 30. I think he said.
Well,
I could see him hit 22 home runs. I mean,
deal.
I think he responds. I don't know. And look, he's going to see pitches because he's going to be between Harper and Schwarber a lot of the time. He's going to get to see pitches. He's going to get to see fastballs. He's got great play coverage. I've always been a Bohm guy.
And I'm good with just a lot of line drive doubles. I'm okay with that with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's so big.
Yeah, no, exactly.
At some point.
We've been saying that for like 4 years
I know.
now.
He's in a home run contest. Derby. I hear you. I do think he has a good year. Listen, I'm bullish on him. I don't know what happens in October. October is another animal, right? But I think for the regular season, I think it's them and the Braves. I don't like the Mets a little bit. I think it's the Phillies and Braves punching it out in the NL East.
Yeah, I think the Mets last year, they got hot, they did well, came in, and unfortunately, the London series probably was the thing that turned it around. So that's what I feel bad for last year is that we had those nasty New York fans. Not only did they have one over us in the basketball, they then had one over us in the baseball. But at least we had the last laugh because we got Saquon Barkley from them. But I'm hoping this year that they are going to be nothing as always. And that the Phillies go over. I think they'll get over the 91 or 90 and a half that I've seen sort of floating around as well. I think we will get into the mid 90s of wins.
Nice.
And
Bo said it right. By the way, it is overtime. Real quick, my brother.
Oh, sorry.
It's overtime right now on the program, and we're going to do deep overtime because Johnny Goodtime is going to give us some questions. Our buddy Sam from England. Is the London series, are people in England now starting to get into baseball a little bit? With opening day today, are people talking about it?
Yeah, massive. I mean, when I spoke to you guys last year when we were over and we did the London series, that was the most where you had legit fans from both teams, right? So obviously being on the East Coast, it's a quick, easy trip for us to come over and for you guys to come over, right? So that was the most that anyone said there's ever been where you had like I said, we had our own section, the Phillies. We had with Philly sports trips, right, and stuff. They had their own. We had our own section, so it was like a soccer stadium where you couldn't have Mets fans in our section, and it is growing like that. Phillies is one of the biggest followed teams. What Dave does at UK Phillies is great. And then the Mets guys, I've met them. They're actually all right considering they're Mets fans, but they're quite big as well with their side of it. But even this year's a sold out. I won't be going because I just can't. Same with the NFL. I can't get into the games if it's not my team, right? But I will go to London for the weekend because what MLB do, and I said this last year as well, they're just so good. Like they do stuff for the kids. Like my son's got into it. My 3-year-old who's sat on the sofa today, so he's got chicken pox. He likes playing baseball. Like when I come back from America, he wanted a baseball. He's in the garden trying to hit a baseball, and obviously his hand-eye coordination just not there. But he loves watching it.
Listen, you'll work with him. Get the wiffle ball, right, and throw to him. Make sure he hits the bat. You hit the bat. Right, get him used to it. Yeah, you'll be surprised. He'll be raking in 2 years. He'll be 5 years old and hit line drives.
Well, I like to think so, but I mean, they've got to grow the sport here. Like the nearest softball team to me is about 45 miles. I know that doesn't sound far for you guys, but for me, that's because of the roads. They're not just all highways and toll roads. Like it's like a good hour and a bit for me to get to that, just for my son to like practice. But yeah, what they do though, when the events they put on, right, like with Chase, and Chase is obviously a fantastic guy. Luckily to meet him a few times, and what he's done and what MLB Europe are doing, like they do massive stuff here just to get fan engagement, right? So he did like a bat off. We've got Gladiators back here in the UK. I don't know if you've now got a remastered version back in the US, but we've got a UK version. He went on that, did something on that. They want every sort of platform they could just to promote the baseball. So it's massive. And yeah, opening day, there's the chats flying off in the UK Phillies chat. There's about 1,000 of us on the WhatsApp group that are Phillies fans that are chatting today about opening day. And yeah, everyone's just buzzing. And like I say, we all love Alec Boehm here, and we got to meet him last year. And like you say, he is very tall. Doesn't help when when he's on a step as well. So when he comes up behind us, he's on a step, so he feels like he's 8 foot. And as you guys know, I'm not very tall, so yeah, it was a bit embarrassing for me. Carl Schwarber was more my height, but Boehm was definitely making me feel like I was a little kid again.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Listen, it's great. 9 o'clock your time, right? Is the game?
Well, yeah, no, until Sunday. We're only 4 hours ahead, so it's awesome for me at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so which is normally great for me, right? Because it means 11 o'clock start for the Sixers, but I have not been staying up watching that crap, rubbish or
no, that's rubbish
or trash. Sorry, yeah, sorry, trash. I'll do American English. So yeah, I can't. So baseball's great up until Sunday. It'll be an hour closer, so only 4 hour time difference. But the day just drags. I need the day to finish, man. I need it. I need it.
Go get a point.
I do. I will. I just need to put a couple of hundred on a home run for Casti now, like you say. Now Torts has been fired. Not that I'm a big Flyers fan, but
It's
like
like a good day. You got the sun shining out there in the UK?
Well, for the UK, we'll say yes. Yeah, it's a good day in the UK. It's probably like, I don't know, trying to work it out here in the conversion, about maybe 40, 50 Fahrenheit, maybe. Trying to work out the conversion of Fahrenheit to Celsius. I should know. I know it's hotter than it was in
by the way,
Philly.
real quick, have you seen the show 1,000 Blows?
I haven't. No, I've tried getting into more shows like you guys. You guys, and actually Pat got me to watch a bit more of Gangs of. I started to watch Gangs of London because of you two. But there's a new thing that's come out, and I'm sure TV Top will promote this. But there's a Netflix is called Adolescence, which really talks about knife crime in the UK. Yeah, now not everyone knows this, and apologies if this offended anyone, but I got someone attacked me with a knife when I was younger, and I got stabbed. So I had to really check to see if it was okay for me to watch. But it's such a great film, and I could kind of feel like how my parents felt. I was the victim, obviously not the perpetrator, but this is a really good 4 hour series. So that's probably the best thing on TV. But now Phillies baseball's back. I haven't got time to watch
That's
TV,
it, baby.
but I do want to watch those. Fightings.
We love
We're
it.
talking about the fightings.
Sammy, you're the best, buddy. Best to the family, pal.
You guys too.
Appreciate
And
it,
to you,
brother.
mate. Take care.
Sam from England.
Love it.
I
love that they're excited across the pond.
Yeah, you kidding me? It's fantastic. Opening day?
Yes.
It's great, man. All right. Rite Aid back in the day moment.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Do you have the dogs cooking?
They're cooking. I'm going to pop out for a second.
Because I can see Johnny Goodtimes, Strivia,
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah. And get some beers.
Grab some beers in there. Oh, overtime. You ready for that? Dave?
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah. Simple opening day. Probably the best image of the last 25 years for the Phils for me.
What do we got?
Little Liz and Choochie.
I love
We
it.
got to go into it high hopes, right?
High hopes,
So
man.
let's think back to the last time they celebrated together.
So Lidge and Chooch.
Oh, did I never said that? Oh,
That's all right.
oh, here it comes.
The embrace of Brad Lidge
Yeah.
and Carlos.
It's a lot. I'm trying to get
Ruiz.
not burn the place down with the dogs back there and the Instapot, run back and forth.
That's all right. You're doing a good job, man. It's a crazy day.
Yeah, there it is.
Beautiful, man. That's
Yep.
it. Lidge, Chooch, 2008 World Series champions. I think about
We're
Harry
due for another.
every day. I think about Harry during opening day like this.
The white shoes.
It was the best. And you could just hear the cadence of Harry the K. Anyway, great job, Andrew. Let's have some fun, little overtime.
Yeah,
Johnny Goodtimes.
You guys hang out for a minute while I get some dogs and beers together.
All right, Johnny Goodtimes got some questions. All right, so we want you to play along at home. What do you say, John?
Oh, I'm doing pretty
Happy
good.
opening day.
Thank you. Happy opening day to you.
Yeah, and our good friends. Oh, look at this shy baby.
Yeah, I got you guys some gear.
That's
Got
cool,
you an
man.
old A's hat.
And this is the old Phillies. Look at this.
Philadelphia A's. Yeah, that's the old Phils. And now I don't know if you know about the Blue Jay. You know about the Blue Jay, Ann?
I don't.
So in 1944, they actually tried to change the name of the team.
Really?
Yeah, the Carpenter family. I mean, obviously the team had been terrible for, at that point, 30 years. And they were trying to change the vibes a little bit. So they tried to change the name to the Blue Jays. They had a contest. Somebody won the contest.
Really?
$100. Yeah. Changed the name, had it on the jersey. And just nobody did it. The fans wouldn't change the name. The sports writers wouldn't change the name. So so for 2 years they had the Blue Jay on the jersey, and then finally they just gave up the ghost on the whole thing and went back to being the Phils.
Oh wow!
Wow, I didn't know. That's fascinating.
Yeah,
I've seen that logo before.
You know what's awesome is the fact that they did not. That people were like, "No, we're not doing it."
Right. Yeah.
And the media was in on it.
Yeah.
So this is the J.
Right. That's the Blue Jay.
Wow.
You'll see it. You can find some old jerseys. Find
That's
some old
awesome,
1940s jerseys.
I've seen the logo before, but I never understood why they had the Blue Jay. But now you just answered that question. So thank you so much.
So it was a great logo. So we were like, a couple years ago, we were like, hey, let's put this on.
Why the Blue Jays? Like Philadelphia's not a Blue
I know.
Jay city.
I know, kind of funny. They just said they liked the name, and Blue Jays were feisty, so they thought it would be a good name for the team. And
I guess Cardinals were in.
Well,
the Orioles, the Pigeons. Yeah,
the Pigeon would have been great.
Yeah,
right. The Philly Pigeons would have made a bit more sense.
Listen, the Pigeons. People used to call the Eagles the Pigeons.
Yeah, they did.
The Pigeons. Cowboy Dave would say that.
So I got the A's here. Obviously, everybody knows the A's used to play in Philly until through 1954. And obviously, the Elephant. I don't know if they're doing the Elephant this year. I don't know if they're keeping it or not. Now, the Elephant's been around since the Philly days.
Right.
So you could still see it on the patch with the Oakland A's. It was still had the Elephant.
What was the symbolic of the Elephant?
So this is a pretty good story. So in 1905, John McGraw was the manager of the New York Giants and was for a long time. And, Connie Mack was the manager of the A's. And they were kind of, they're both Irishmen who didn't get along so great. They were very different styles of Irishmen. One of them was a yell at the guys in the dugout guy, and one was Connie, the very classy, smooth operator with the suit on and everything. So anyway, John McGraw, one time they asked him, they asked John McGraw, what do you think about this A's team? And he said, I think Connie Mack's got a white elephant on his hands.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in retaliation, Connie Mack made the white elephant the logo for the Philadelphia A's.
Oh,
and that's been that's been the
Bring up
logo ever since.
Stool, bro.
Who's having a hot dog?
Yeah, no, you got to play the trivia game.
Oh, all right.
All right, you got to do that. Bring up the stool.
Grab the Jamie. There's another
the white elephant
counter like this thing. I think on that desk in there. Grab that.
Look at this.
Oh, that's a good
we
dog.
got dogs.
The spicy mustard, that's a good dog.
That's a good dog, dude. It's a nice dog.
Good bun, too.
Yeah,
Nice
excellent.
bun.
You got beers in there too? Look at this.
Oh wow.
Wow, look at this.
Oh man, we're dropping the right next door. He didn't
Opening
have to
day
go far.
party.
Little Love City action. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
All right, we got 3 contestants now.
All right.
For a big trivia smackdown.
All right, this is opening day trivia. Beers, dogs, and peanuts in honor of opening day.
Don't forget the poppycock.
All right, and the poppycock.
Go, Jamie. Let's get you that.
I gotta
That's
give
not
VG a
Jamie.
hot dog shout out. So he went ballpark Frank, but he went horseradish mustard and the Martin's potato roll. Solid all around dog.
I agree.
Totally. Strong
Happy
vote.
opening day.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's awesome. Wow.
Good move.
That's a good dog.
That's a great dog. Big G.
Yeah.
Coming up monster.
Oh.
Dogs and beers. No, love
Cheers.
it. Cheers, boys.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Go Phillies. How many wins, James?
93.
Bubba said between 92 and 96.
All right.
What's the line on wins?
I think it's 90 and a half.
90 and a half?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I think the Phillies are really good value for the NL East. They're plus, was it 185?
That's good value, it is.
I mean, the Braves they need a lot to go right. You need Sale to stay healthy. You got to make up for Fried. Schwellenbach has to step up. The Mets don't have pitching.
No.
You have a top 5 offense, a top 5 rotation.
I agree.
That's worth a shot.
Look, the Phillies have great starting pitching. And I don't know. I think we're just kind of what the last 2 postseasons have taken so much out of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about the rotation, I mean, I think it's the best rotation we've had since, Hamels, Halladay, and Lee. I mean, I think this is a really strong.
Sanchez is stud,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Sanchez is like a game changer. Like he's throwing 97, 98.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, you go Wheeler, Nola.
He's got one of the best
Sanchez.
change-ups in baseball. If he's up at 98, like touching 99.
And I'm a Luzardo guy too, because I love Luzardo. He's got a big arm. And then after that,
you need Kepler to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like, you need him to play 125 games, which is probably a little bit of a long shot. But he's hitting the cover off the ball in spring.
I know. He's got a little sneaky power.
Yeah. I
He
mean,
had sneaky power in Minnesota.
there's people out there that think he could hit 25 if he is
In
healthy.
this ballpark? Yeah, with this lineup, sure.
And
He
we'll see.
definitely do that.
If he steps it up, then Kevin Long, everybody can kind of pipe down a little bit.
Yeah.
He might win 100 games. He hits 25 home runs.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, and then toward the end of the year, you're going to have Painter come up.
Yeah. I don't even know about end of the year.
Well, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but they might be.
July-
Jason
and
Stark, I heard
mid-July.
him. Jason Stark, I heard say the other day that he's going to be Garrett Cole.
Whoa.
Wow.
And he said, I don't know how patient they can be.
Yeah. I heard,
It's going to be one of their trade deadline acquisitions. They'll bring him up.
I heard Garrett Cole, too, as a comp.
Wow, man.
Holy.
Because he throws such a heavy ball. Like, he pounds you.
I'm not going to lie, and it moved when I heard that.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. Oh, he's going to be fun.
He throws a heavy ball.
See, right off the bat. Right off the bat. Yesterday, I was talking about pegging Vince with a ball.
You hear that? He's like, oh, I really wanted to peg Vince.
Yeah, that's what he said. He wanted to peg Vince.
Well, I'm
Good.
doing Eagles today, and then part of the Eagles thing is always watching Fran do some guys. So it all kind of fits right in with the theme.
You guys are out of control.
People are asking in the chat, why when there's food involved is Jamie always here?
Well, I heard VG rustling around in the kitchen. I was like, what's going on? I see the Instapot and dogs. I got excited.
We had a big celebration of MLB Day.
Hell yeah.
So
I put the flag up last night. I'm ready,
I
man.
saw that, dude.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Flag is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big flags man.
Yeah, Skylar asked what time the game was today, and I said it's perfect. 4 o'clock, right after school.
Yeah.
She got real excited.
That's the only thing I'm bummed out is that
after school.
I got to do. I'm loving because we got Parks tonight.
Oh, nice.
And
With Dick Girardi, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a big time. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
But
This is a good day.
it's a great day.
You got to
Great
cancel
day.
all kids' sports today.
But I wanted to be with the kid. I wanted to be with the kid. I wanted to be with Maz. He's got practice tonight.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Talking about practice?
Practice
We're talking about practice on opening day. It's
Opening
Sweet
day
16.
practice
No, but
violation by that coach.
He needs it. No, he needs it. No,
All right,
they
Mr. Marinovich.
No. We got rained out Tuesday at the fields. We were supposed to practice Tuesday. And we got a big tournament at Ripken this weekend.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We got to go down to Ripken.
Just got to see some pitches.
You can't just go cold. You do. You can't just go cold.
All right, tomorrow night. You got opening day?
Yeah, dude, listen. Serious. Take it serious.
I'll tell you what I'm taking serious. It's opening day at happy hour. That's what I'm taking serious. Told a pagan we're not doing dinner together. I got baseball right into basketball.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
I got to wiggle out of piano lessons later. But
What are you guys? What are you guys doing Monday? For the home
going to the game.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as it's not rained out.
Right.
75% chance.
Yeah, but I think it's supposed to start at like 5 or 6. If I'm them, I just move it up to 1 o'clock and you're fine.
Yeah.
Move it up now. Get ahead of it.
You're right.
They've had so many issues the last couple
Dude,
of
it's
years.
like 3 of the last 4.
I know. It's every year.
They
It's like
call
ridiculous.
and nothing happens.
Yeah, right.
And
Well,
they
what
wait till the
happens when
morning
you're-
of.
It's when you're this early, you're in early March. You're in March,
Yeah. It's a
you
big
get?
storm going through right now. Like the way it came over the Rockies. I watched the news this morning because I'm educated. Went over the Rockies down through Texas, and now it's like coming back up. So that's what's going to hit us. It's a big one.
Oh, is it really? It's going to knock out a lot of games
get
over
this
the
guy in
weekend?
front of the green screen.
Up here.
What's the
Cecily.
Hurricane.
Thank you, Weather Jamie.
there's a pressure move coming in from Texas.
All right. Hit us with some trivia,
All right,
baby.
here we go. Opening day trivia. You guys ring in if you got it. Here we go.
Look at this.
First question. Who led off for the Phillies on opening day 1950?
Richie Ashburn.
Richie Ashburn got it. Opening day 1975 was a matchup between the Mets and the Phillies, and 2 Hall of Fame pitchers with over 300 career wins.
Seaver Carlton.
That is correct.
That's what I was going to say, but I thought it was too early for Carlton. What year did he come here?
72.
No, 71. Because
71,
72
yeah.
was the one
Yeah,
he had
the
the 27 wins.
Yeah, and they only won whatever.
On opening day 1980, what left fielder hit a 3-run home run for the Phils to propel them?
Greg Luzinski.
Luzinski is correct.
Sing rigged.
No, you guys just don't need buzzers.
No,
You're gonna
I do
get every
both.
question anyway.
Damn.
Carlton has the most opening day starts in Phillies history. Who's number 2?
Aaron Nola.
Incorrect. This is one that Ann might know. You guys probably won't get it.
I do know this, and I'm just
Robin Roberts.
Got
Oh,
it.
Nice job, BG.
BG. Coming up big. All right, we'll get a bit more modern here.
Yeah, I was
See Jamie struggling. The record for most RBI on opening day was set by this second baseman in 2010. Hint. Sorry, you got it? You know it?
Chase Utley.
Yeah.
No. And a hint, we should have never traded him away for...
Cesar Hernandez.
Incorrect.
Oh.
We should have never traded him away for Ugueth Urbina.
Oh, Placido Polanco.
Placido Polanco.
Oogie set a guy on fire.
Oh, that's right. They
Hey.
chopped him up with a machete.
Yeah, machete. and
Our
gas.
fantasy names league is named after Placido Polanco's hat size.
That was a huge dome.
serious?
Yeah, the
Oh,
league is called Polanco's hat size.
All right. Only one Phillies
He really
player.
played third, though.
Only one Phillies player has ever stolen 2 bases on opening day. It happened in 2014. In 3 seasons with the Phillies,
Ben Revere.
Ben Revere is correct.
Wow,
That's a good get
that's
right there.
impressive.
Oops.
I hate that
You hate
review.
him. I'm surprised that was in your frontal lobe.
I hate him.
Had 3 homers and 95 steals with the Phillies.
Hate him. He's like a little leprechaun. That's what Charlie told me.
On opening day 1988, the Phillies played the Pirates. Batting leadoff for the Pirates that day was a young left fielder named
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Good call.
On opening day 1989, what Phillies catcher hit a home run off Rick Sutcliffe in a 5-4 Phillies loss?
Ooh, how about that? 1989. I just had it.
Todd Pratt.
No,
come on.
Too late. Too early.
Too early.
Come on.
Oh my God,
come on.
Oh, Darren Dalton.
Darren Dalton, thank you. On opening day 1993, the Phillies knocked off an Astros pitcher whose son would later be a first-round pick by the Phillies.
Mike Scott.
Incorrect. Who was it? Give you a hint. The youngster was involved in the Doc Holliday deal.
Doug Drabeck.
Doug Drabeck is correct. On opening day 1995, the Phillies took on the Cardinals. What Cardinals shortstop made his last opening day start that
Ozzie
game?
Smith.
Ozzie the Wizard. In 1997, this player made the start in right field for the Phillies. This is a funny one. It would be one of only 3 games he would play for the Phils.
Oh, Danny Tartable.
Nice. I didn't even get to the hit yet. That's strong. I was going to go with the Seinfeld reference there.
In my head, I was giving the finger.
In the past 50 years, the Phillies have only won 3 opening day games in a shutout. The 3 pitchers in question are 3 of the best in team history. 1 in the 80s, 1 in the 90s, 1 in the 2010s. Who are they, Jamie? Go ahead.
Carlton, Schilling, Halladay.
Got it.
Yeah,
3
good
for
job.
3.
Nice
3
work.
points.
Way to
big.
go, bro.
All right.
Notice who's lagging here.
He's in hot dog heaven over here.
I'm
He's
eating poppycocks.
He's got the poppycock.
Friday. He didn't know what Black Friday was. Johnny Goodtimes, you gotta take him under your wing.
I know.
He's a great sportsman, but he's got no memory.
No memory.
He's got gaps.
I need some ginkgo biloba.
The guy's drinking beers at 11 a.m. He's like, wow, what happened to my memory? All right.
I shut those things out.
Don't do it.
Bad instances I block
Bring
out.
gummies into this. Don't blame them.
The Phillies won the World Series in 2008. Who was their opening day starter?
Ooh, Myers?
Brett Myers. Don't know what Charlie was thinking.
He didn't have much.
Yeah, but they had Hamels.
True.
Yeah,
For some
there was
reason, he
something-
kept
I
starting.
remember
He
there
kept
was
starting
something-
Hamels
They
game
still
2
wanted
every
to
year.
give Brett the ball because he had done it.
All right, Carlos Ruiz was our opening day catcher in 2008, but not 2007. What player that I hate started at catcher on opening day 2007?
Sal Fasano?
No, I like Sal Fasano.
Sal's pals.
Yeah. Now, this is a guy who used to regularly let opposing players slide through his legs.
Oh.
And then he got traded, and then he ate us alive every single time we played him.
It's on the
I hate him too. I hate him.
Is he
my God.
French?
No.
No.
It's not Denard.
Oh my God, I hate
sliding
him.
through the legs.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Florida, didn't he do it against the Marlins? Do it against them?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember-
Lost the game. Lost the game
I
because
remember.
he had his legs spread wide
Yeah, I
apart. They
remember
slid
like,
right through the middle.
screaming about him. I hated him.
Jorge Alfaro.
Rod Barajas.
Barabbas. Remember I used to call him Barabbas?
All right,
Give me the
last
poppy.
one. 2015 was the first opening day the Phillies had without J-Roll starting at shortstop since 2000. Who started in 2015?
2015 shortstop.
Cesar did a little stint over there.
Hernandez? You think Carlos Hernandez?
Cesar?
No, but Cesar is the answer for the Utley part of it, second base.
Just had it. Damn it.
Kevin Stocker.
No.
I can picture him. Galvis.
There you go. Freddie
Oh,
Galvis.
yeah.
Freddie Galvis.
Jeez.
Got it.
All right.
Now, do you remember who was shortstop the year before Jimmy was the opening day shortstop in 2000? That's a tough one.
2000.
Late 90s shortstop.
Ooh.
So it was.
He wasn't very good. This is a
No.
tough. This is a tough question. This is a 3-pointer. This is Final Jeopardy. If you get this one, you win the whole
What
thing.
was the? Give me the initials.
DR.
Desi Relaford.
Got it,
Oh,
Jamie.
nice.
With the come from
Great
behind
job.
victory with the
Great
final Jeopardy get.
Great job.
Nice.
Great job. Johnny, good time. Where are you going to be at, man?
I don't know. I am.
Who's your master?
Yeah, I'm every Monday. I'm at Clarkville in West Philly. Every Tuesday, I'm at Founding Fathers on South Street. Every Wednesday, I am at Pistolas del Sur in South Philly. And obviously,
Love
tonight I got a
spot.
private, a corporate event, do private events, birthdays, weddings, everything. So hit me up, JohnnyGoodTimes.com.
Johnny Good Times, baby. I love it, man. I love this stuff. Dude, great stuff.
Thanks,
Boys,
brothers. Good stuff.
happy
Happy
opening
opening
day.
day.
Yep.
Happy opening day. Andrew, great job today. Excellent. Everybody, enjoy opening day.
Cheers.
Go fight!
Go Phils!
We all silly like the mayor.